Sorry we're late. Lefty podcast. No music. I had to come right in. The ONORA boys in the building. Brought to you by ONORA Whiskey. ONORAWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey. ONORAWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. PFB Nation, Apple Podcast, Spotify, audio edibles each and every day. YouTube, subscribe. The thumbs up, smash it for us. Hit the notification bell. Share. Let everybody know Lucky Lefty Podcast. We invite all comments. We respond to all. Don't forget patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Home of the misguided passion, ladies and gentlemen. Forever committed to making sure that we continue to Bennett. Breaking news. I have to start with this. I'm sorry. Of course, I was going to be petty. And Bronny James has declared for the NBA draft. Ladies and gentlemen.
What? He was just in the transfer portal. No, that's fake news, Sean. If you get duped like that, Stephen A. Smith with
I'm just saying
easy accounts.
Hey man. Hey, bruh. This is from your boy Shams. Don't get mad at me, Left.
I don't know if we gotta wait a little bit. Take a little time. I mean, this will be the true test of nepotism right here. Can LeBron finagle?
Also, I want to tell J. Cole, go back to the drawing board. Matter of fact, this is my advice to J. Cole.
Oh my gosh, you didn't like it?
Lead us to the big dogs.
Oh.
Lead us to the big dogs. I understand.
Don't say that.
And you got hit. I understand hit dogs holler. Lead it to the big dogs. You're not one.
Don't.
You're a B+ student.
Oh,
these are the A students.
J. Cole got better bars than Drake.
And this, I didn't say that. You said that. Now, I'm not saying that I agree or disagree. I'm just saying, in terms of putting out diss records, in terms, Drake has put out killers.
Okay. Yeah.
Pusha T has put out killers.
They put out some heat now.
Kendrick has put out killers before.
J. Cole's a warning shot, though. He ain't go all in. He said, this is a warning shot. He said, I like Buddy. I don't want to have to do this to him.
That wasn't a warning shot.
Oh, he said it was a warning shot.
The shot clock was running down.
Oh,
and he had to throw up a brick. That's what happened. Since we're going to talk about clocks.
He responded in 2 weeks.
Shot, man. When a commentator says, man, it's 3 on the shot clock. That's what he heard. It's 3 on the shot clock. I got this album coming out. Let me go, man. I got to put something up.
He put a warning shot because I feel like if Kendrick says something, he'll release a real one. None of these guys have released straight diss. I'm on your head. They say little 1 or 2 bars right there, but it's nothing direct.
See, when I say he's not a big dog, just because you got a name, J. Cole ain't a big dog in the streets.
No. He's not given that title. No. He is though.
For the mixed culture crowd, the backpackers, yeah, because just hardcore hip hop. No, J. Cole. J. Cole is not a big dog.
We don't know yet.
He still get there. I'm not saying he can't get there. I'm just saying he's currently not. Well, let me keep it
shot was a good warm up.
J. Cole ain't Kendrick and Drake, though. He's just not. He's not.
On an image, popularity, maybe not.
You know what he is? Drake and Kendrick are Kobe and Mike.
Okay.
MVPs, defensive player of the year, first team defense, finals MVP, multiple championships, and they won the dunk contest.
Okay.
Because the disc record is like the dunk contest.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the part of the game that's like NBA All-Star Weekend. Like, oh, has to sit here like this. Oh man, they're about to go at it. And they've given us that.
Yes.
J. Cole, now disagree with me if you want, and I'm not trying to dish your boy. J. Cole is like Bron, where he has those accolades, but he hasn't given people that.
But they regard Bron in the GOAT category. So he's more like Tracy McGrady.
That's true.
He's more like Tracy McGrady. He just everybody reveres Tracy McGrady as a great scorer. But he's just not a Kobe Mike. But Kobe and Mike revere Tracy McGrady, though. They respect Tracy McGrady. But Kobe, like, come on, Tracy. You know, I know you Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Top 5 scorer all time. Yeah. Hard to get, hard to cover up one-on-one. But Kobe just Kobe, you know what I'm saying?
It is one of those things where, look, it's incredible. Earthquake in New York. Yo, my people in Connecticut said they felt it. My friends in Philly said they felt it. It was 4.5. So we hope everyone in the New York area, if you have family.
That area is smaller than I thought.
No, New York is really just some islands, collective of islands, bro. It's not.
You said somebody in Connecticut and Philadelphia felt it.
Yeah.
I had somebody in New Jersey feel it too.
Yeah. I think the epicenter, if I'm not mistaken, was in New
Jersey.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because in California it happens. It may happen in like LA or something, and I wouldn't feel it in Long Beach, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I think it's somebody's lying about these sizes. Are we not conceptualizing?
Have you ever felt one while you were in LA?
Yeah, I felt one. It was definitely weird.
Was your equilibrium off a little bit?
It's only weird because you can't run from it. And then when it's over, your body's like, is it still going? Because you would think you're moving and stuff, because it's subtle. Yeah. It's not dangerous. I feel like it would be hard to be in a dangerous situation with an earthquake unless it's like off the movies, where the whole thing just does all that crazy stuff. But it's a phenomenon for sure, because you sit there and you're rocking, but everywhere is rocking. Everything's swaying. So that's definitely a little nervous, but nothing's worse than tornadoes to me. Tornadoes and hurricanes are probably the worst natural disasters, in my opinion. Because that's a lot going on. You know what I mean?
Man, crazy. So prayers to everyone out there that might have family on the East Coast. Please check on them. Today we're going to get into. We heard from Mike Mickens and Mike Brown yesterday, Left. Today we're going to dissect, and we're going to have Left tell us who is going to eat. The 3 wide receivers that are going to eat the most in Mike Denbrock's offense. The wide receivers that are going to eat the most in Mike Denbrock's offense. So I'm going to set this up with a nice tease. Something that we probably never heard before. I like to hear other people that have nothing to do. You have character witnesses when you go to court, people that come to testify on your behalf. If you're being charged with something, that speak good of you to refute what's going to be said about you in court. In the past, I would say 5 seasons, you could literally charge the Notre Dame offense with being slow, non-explosive, boring, unimaginative. A bunch of adjectives I could come up with. But Left, I want you to listen to Jaden Mickey, veteran defensive back for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. This is his conversation or his comments on the wide receivers and what they look like. And we're going to start from there. This is Jaden Mickey.
On that competition competition piece, I guess, what are your initial thoughts on the new receiver room?
Yeah, it's fun having the boys out there. A lot more speed, a lot more versatility, different bodies. It's always fun having new receivers come in and give us different looks.
Well, he tried to be real PC with it. He didn't want to diss last year. But he told you, a lot more speed, a lot more flexibilities, different bodies, no redundancy. Yeah, it's definitely a different look. Compare that to the quote we got from Christian Gray yesterday. Once again, the defensive backs are pretty good character witnesses for the wide receiving corps this year at Notre Dame. You're on mute, bro.
What I appreciate most.
Wait a minute, because your face, the way you started off, it had to be fired. What you were saying had to be fired. Just for your facial expression. I hate the fact you were on mute. Go ahead, bro.
I say what's so special is that I feel like they know something, but they just not telling us yet. It's like they know the surprise, it just ain't unwrapping it. They're like, oh, we'll let you see what it is. But to us, it's different. Different body types. Yeah, you got a fast body type. You got a tall body type. You got smooth body types, Micah Gilbert's. So the DBs are getting ranges. They're like, wait a minute. Before we were just worried about, release packages. Before we just worried about keeping up with a go route. Now we got speed. We got routes. We got height. We got size. We got some mean competitive guys. No more Mr. Rogers in the building. He said, yeah, this is giving us a great look. and the battles are going back and forth. So before it was, oh yeah, we're getting better every day. Now it's, oh yeah, it's a good challenge every day. And I think that stems from not only the receiver rooms getting better, and they're competing within each other because they know it's only 6 spots. And we got about 8 or 9 guys that you can put out there and feel good about, I would say. Well, 8. Okay, you say 8 guys that you'd be like, okay, yeah, we need to rotate. But realistically, you only can play 6 because you got 4 running backs you got to play this year. At least. And that should still be somewhat of a focal point. So I love when the defense has a lot but a little to say, or it says a little but it means a lot, because they know that the challenge is there, and if they're getting better and they're already a top secondary in the country on paper, but you got some proof too, then I already know that receiver room can't be far away either. We see a potential top 10 receiver room this year, which is extreme leaps and bounds. Probably Marcus Freeman's biggest show of growth.
Okay, you just said that. LL question of the day. What would be the most impressive leap if Notre Dame's offense is top 10? The quarterback play or the wide receivers?
Yeah.
Go ahead and answer that, Left. I'm interested in what LL Nation has to say about that. If Notre Dame indeed becomes a top 10 offense, what leap will be more impressive? The leap of the quarterback play or the leap of the performance from the wide receivers?
Yeah, I definitely think it's the wide receivers because, I mean, we had to have been in the bottom hundreds. From production.
Freaking Charlie Jones, bro.
Yeah, freaking Charlie Jones and put us down bad. So to have it go from extreme one to the other in 2 years, a year, I think that on top of providing the offensive coordinator who knows how to activate a room like that. I mean, you're talking about a year and a half of going from a D to a B plus. That's some great leaps and bounds to accomplish because of the fact of how so much was needed and so much was missing in that receiver room. And then over in a year of recruiting, a half of a year of getting guys in the transfer portal, a half of a year of poaching a Heisman winning offensive coordinator with 2 first-round receivers that he had. I mean, who else could do that in college football That's not Nick Saban. That's not a Kirby Smart. And for a guy who went 8-4, hell, it's different if it was Ohio State where they went 11 and whatever. We went 8-4 and was or 9-4, was able to pull out, the best offensive coordinator debatably in the country last year, the best receiver from production standpoint last year, a 5-star recruit, some of the 5 and 4 stars that are making an impact today, on top of, because you got to remember, a lot of these guys are watching what's happened at Notre Dame before. People was watching the fact that Jordan Faison with 19 receptions was the number 1 receiver that we thought so. People were glorifying that fact. But other receivers saw that too. You're like, Notre Dame just got Jordan Faison? Oh, man, this is opportunity. Where some people will look at those schools and be like, man, they ain't got no receiver benefit over there for me. So people finding value in that Notre Dame receiver room based off of what we had last year and the non-impact that it plays shows that Marcus Freeman can attract the right people. And lump that along with it being Notre Dame. You heard what the coaches have said. Oh, this is Notre Dame. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. So with the brand and Marcus Freeman, you're talking about a combo punch that makes it hard to not want to be there, but also it can attract the right pieces in a quick amount of time. A year and a half, we went from a D to a B+, and we lost guys. We lost about 4 or 5 guys, and we lost a coach. So to lose all of that, to get a new coach, to get a new offensive coordinator that can gear the passing game the right way, to get the top recruits in the receiver portal at that time, and also bring in top recruits as young men, as freshmen that are making an impact and can potentially play. Marcus Freeman can't do. I mean, that's what you tip your hat to. That's what you tip your hat. That's what you hire him and give him the big bucks for, is to be able to make the big mistakes and be able to overcome them in a short amount of time.
People are chiming in, man. Let's see. Jason Smith says he's going to choose the quarterback. Nikita, thank you for tapping in. She says wide receivers. Jason Smith will once again tapping in, said that's a tough one. Quarterback play has been pretty subpar. Jack Cohn might be the pinnacle of quarterback play in the modern era for Notre Dame offense, which is saying something.
But and then the thing again is that I'm not giving the pressure nor the total credit to the quarterback in this year particularly. Mm-hmm. This is a year for the quarterbacks to grow, and the talent around them will make them look better. But I'm not going to be the one to say, oh, this is all because of a Riley Leonard. Oh, Riley Leonard, we getting him, and quote unquote, he hypothetically was healthy the whole time, and they go 10 and they go undefeated during the regular season. I'm not attributing that because of Riley Leonard or Steve Angeli. I'm attributing that to Marcus Freeman and how he turned that room around, how he got the right pieces together, how he married up the defensive of potential and output. I'm honoring the program and what Marcus Freeman was able to do, not the one transfer of a quarterback that took advantage of all the best resources you can have, So I think particularly this year, it's credit to the team. Everything you could have asked for, we have no excuses built up because we have all the pieces that we didn't have or didn't feel like we had last year. So this is not a quarterback season necessarily. I mean, he can have a great contribution, but this is the potluck this year. Everybody's bringing their piece. Everybody's making this thing go. And after this year, yeah, it might have to turn into quarterbacks being a little more in the forefront and running things. But right now, I think this is a great team effort. This is similar to what a Michigan had in terms of the success of the offense in general, not just one particular player. But we're going to be even better than that because we'll be more balanced, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's going to be, our quarterback can only throw the ball 8 times because if he does anything more than that in tight games, we can lose by 2 touchdowns on some Joe Flacco shit.
Man, John, perfect. That's perfect segue to what John Matthew just asked. John, thanks for tapping in as always. That's actually Drake's best album right there, Take Care, in my opinion. But that's just my
Oh,
opinion.
you say that because it's his first one. I hate
No. Look, Left. I've said this before. It takes a lifetime to do an album, and for me, it's always hard to top. That's all for any artist.
That's true.
Any artist. Thriller is like Michael Jackson's greatest album to most people. From the Wall is his best album to me.
Off the Wall for sure.
That's just my opinion.
First of all, Off the Wall from beginning to end, no skips, and then play it reverse from bottom to top, and still, great album. It's underrated because they got some hits on there that's like, why are we not talking about these more? Off the Wall, that's definitely the best album for sure.
That's my opinion. It doesn't the most critically acclaimed is not always the best. That's all I'm saying. But John, thank you for tapping in. Multiple sources, including you guys, are saying Kenny Minchie has the best arm and is the fastest in the room. If that's the case, why are we playing games and not just developing him? Well, look, I'll step out first because I know you're going to have a more extensive explanation, but I'll just say this. I think in this time, the environment in the quarterback room for everything to be unleashed is perfect. Look, we spin it different.
That's right.
Was Kenny going to get a realistic shot of starting
politically
before the Riley Leonard injury?
No.
Probably not, John.
And it's not diss to him.
It's not a diss to him, and I'm trying to see both sides of the coin here. I'm trying to see a team that goes out before the Sun Bowl aggressively to say we're going to improve, before Sun Bowl practices to say we're going to improve the quarterback room, which I have no problem with. I'm all about being greedy. The more talent, the better. But then you see Kenny Minchie and Steve Angeli doing practices. You see guys like K.K. Smith in practices for the Sun Bowl. You see Charles Jagasaw, who have been working inside, get moved out to the competition at left tackle and move both of your left tackle competitors to right tackle. It's like guys came on doing the practices for the Sun Bowl because they were talented. They were talented, or they had developed to the point that they were a lot better than they were in the springtime. So now you've already made this move. And you probably in conversations, let's keep the buck left. You probably have to tell somebody like Riley Leonard, like, yo, we're not promising you anything, but some concessions have to come forth in the conversation, right? Especially if money via NIL is taking place. It's a tricky conversation. And in the midst of that, you have a talented freshman coming in. And the truth of the matter is, there's no need for the talented freshman to play. Bryce Young was extremely talented, but there was no need, dude. They sat back and said, we can win the national championship with Mac Jones. Yes, Bryce Young is probably more talented, but we can win this thing with Mac Jones. And by no means am I comparing where Notre Dame is to where Alabama was, but I'm just saying, I think the program is at a point to where they feel like, yo, we can go win. And this is what we've been saying. Like, regardless of who the quarterback is, line them up 1 through 3. And we want to make sure the freshman gets his feet wet. Scout team gets the year under his belt. That's the preference. But 1 through 3, we feel like we can win. Now, it's a debate amongst the fan base and people covering the team whether or not Steve Angeli can win a championship versus Riley Leonard versus Kenny Minchie and all of that. Look, that's fine. Everybody can have their opinion.
That's right.
But the only thing that matters is what Marcus Freeman and that staff feels.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, they feel like 1 through 3 right now. They can go win games, get to the playoffs, and win games in the playoffs. And I think part of that confidence has a lot to do with the talent improvement in the quarterback room, but it has a whole hell of a lot to do with that wide receiver room, along with Mike Denbrock. Left, the floor is yours.
Absolutely, and Kenny's sometimes you just got to get into the right spot at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's right where he should be. If they were trying to press him over guys that we have right now or didn't go into the transfer portal, I don't think Notre Dame would be taking the proper formalities or the process. You got to go to transfer portal. You got to, you always want to strive in that aspect. And you don't want to spoil what Kenny is developing on. I'm not saying that he wasn't ready. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have, in the ideal world, we should start Kenny and not look back, because we thinking about Deuce, we thinking about CJ, we thinking about the guy after Deuce. So from a accelerated, program, how when you in grade school, they got them accelerated classes, you step out of class, 4th, 5th period, you go do your little 30 minutes with the special program where y'all doing whatever. It's the same thing. For me, I think that if we were just on a hyper level of, we know how to develop quarterbacks and put them in the first round and put them in the this, that, and the third, then Kenny would be the option for me. I think this year, with us getting a transfer, with still having Steve on board, this is a year where it's less about the quarterback, more about developing those guys in the quarterback room to know what they're about to embrace on in the next 3 or 4 years. Like, we needed to be turned on. Like, we need Kenny to be the de facto guy after this year, regardless of if he gets half the season, some of the season, all the season. We need him to be ready to play, because CJ needs to be ready to play in a sense by the time this year, next year. So, yeah, I mean, in the ideal world, if we didn't care about the politics of the game or the process of how things go, and sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, I do think that Kenny would be the most ideal, perfect fit. But in this situation that we're in, we're okay with it. We can manage a Steve Riley year, potentially get Kenny some time in the 4th when we're blowing teams out, still keep him on that pace, but there's not a rush. I think Marcus Freeman, if anything, has built the team well enough to where we can still take some time, but not take too much time. We can still take some time to be able to develop the guys for the right franchise player moment. But we're not in desperate need of it either, where we're throwing him out there and sink or swim. Hopefully he gets it done. I think we can curate the process a little bit better, doing it this way, letting a guy like Steve, who has the team's confidence, he's been playing well in his opportunity. You don't want to mess up that team chemistry by just shafting him and throwing him to the side just because we think Kenny's more talented. So from a team's mental health, I do think Steve is a very solid pick to go with, where you're not going to really, at this point, feel like you're overstepping or not making the right moves. This is a comfortable pick. Bringing in Riley is a good addition as a backup support role, especially now with his injury. I think if he was fully healthy, a Steve Riley, quote unquote competition would be healthy at this point. But it does make it a lot easier for Marcus Freeman to make those big boy decisions due to the circumstances. So I think the order is just right. Ideally for me, I would love it if Steve and Kenny get the most prepared for the season, and you work Riley in. Riley be that Taysom Hill type of player to keep the team on track, not to keep Riley on track. I think if we are going to be all in on Riley, then first day of camp, when I'm assuming he should be the healthiest he can be at that point, he need to be taking 90% of the reps. Treat it like a professional setting, like, all right, old guy came back in, he got it. And if we give him 90% of the reps, first team all through fall camp, then I think it'll work. But if you're not, I don't believe Marcus Freeman is going to just sell out to a 1-year transfer like that. So he's only going to get a third of the reps. if not what, 3/5 at the most. And that's if we're just all in on Riley being the answer. But that's why this year isn't particularly about a quarterback. This year is about the team. This year is about developing the receiver room. So when Denbrock and Gino Gadulia come to Marcus Freeman and say, hey, we need some continuity. To me, that's saying, hey, let's just rock with these two dudes and worry about old Riley Leonard later, old Optimus Prime later. Because if he's as good as the fan base has hyped him up to be, his average stats have been gassed up to be, then he should be fine. You know, he should be getting healthy. He'll come back and not skip a beat and actually add more value to the room, I guess. You know, but a hurt guy is always in question, and not saying that a hurt guy can't come out and play great, but where we are as a team, we passed the hurt guys at that because we don't have to. Let him get healthy, let him do his thing, and then work him in. If he's as good as what we are assuming he is, then there's nothing wrong with working him into larger roles when he gets more healthy. But sinking or swimming in this opportunity of, oh, we got to go all in on Riley, I don't think we have to do that, because I have belief, just like I will hope the rest of the fan base has believed, that Marcus Freeman isn't recruiting scrubs. If anything, we should look at this as, oh, this is making the decision a lot easier. Because if they was all healthy, oh, man, it'd be tough. We should be like, this is a blessing in disguise. Like, oh, he's hurt. He takes himself out of the race humbly. Now we can focus on the two-man race that, if anything, it can complement each other if we do it the right way. So, yeah, I do think that that Kenny Minchie is the most talented in the room at this point. And so, yeah, you're not shelving him, but you're just prepping the oven. You know, you got to put the oven, always a pet peeve of mine when you got to make cookies or pizza rolls or something, and they say preheat the oven at 450, and people just throw them in there. I'm like, let the oven cook first, because then when you put them in there, now you know, okay, the proper timing, the 8 to 10 minutes is going to come into effect. If you pop them things in there while the oven preheating, you don't get your sense of timing right, because the oven ain't ready yet. So you may have them things in there for 20 minutes because the oven got to cook as you putting in the raw food, instead of letting the oven be set at a temperature. So when you put that food in, you know, okay, I know 8 to 10 minutes is going to be done just how I like it. I know that. But if I put them in and then preheat the oven, I don't have a sense of time. I don't have a sense of when that thing is going to be ready. Yeah. That's the same thing with Kenny Minchie. In a first-year offense, even though we love all the things included, we got an offensive coordinator that got a Heisman, 2 first-round receivers, bunch of yards, bunch of numbers, bunch of stats. We know that. We know we got a senior quarterback that's waited his time and done good in the little showing that we got. We know we got Mike Brown, great receiver, coach, developer. The guys seem to like him. The room's getting better. We know we got a Riley Leonard that can add value, come in, do some good things. We know we got a defense that's going to be top 10 this year, but we just don't know for a fact. We believe all that stuff. We don't know for a fact of what it's going to look like in year one. So that oven is still preheating. I'm not going to put my good chicken in there just yet. The good chicken said it's going to be ready from 8 to 12 minutes after the oven gets preheated to 450. After. If you put that good chicken in there before it's preheated, you don't know when it's going to be ready. You just going on a whim.
That's a darn good analogy, man. That's one of your best food joints, right? You pull that one.
So
Bars. I'll give you that one up. That was a good one. Go ahead, finish up.
So we waiting for what it can look like after year one, because I guarantee you in year 2 under Denbrock, under Kenny Minchie, that's got bits and pieces of the offense, some taste of experience, work with the younger receivers coming in. That year 2 process is when Kenny pops on the scene in a ready-made situation. Now we don't have to have questions. Now we got the film of what a Denbrock coming back to Notre Dame looks like, what that offense looks like, what that O-line has gotten better with as they have adjusted to the new offense and everything included. guys that are young, right? We got young guys in the program. Year 2 for Michael Gilbert. Year 2 for Cam Williams. Year 2 for some guys that we have on the offensive line. Year 2 for Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price fully getting the reps that they want. Now Kenny's stepping into that thing like, oh, I'm hot. I'm ready. I'm gonna be done in 8 to 12. Be in New York. I can guarantee it preseason. Preseason, I can see it because of where we was cooking in the beginning. So this is definitely a Steve territory to fill it out, flush it out, be the experienced vet that he is, not do too much, but don't lose the game either. That's the situation this offense is in year 1. And Riley can add some benefit with his talent when he gets healthy to supplement that. I don't think Riley's the main ingredient this year, just due to timing. And hell, the timing that he's away should be the time that Kenny and Steve really take hold of the process.
Mm-hmm.
We need them to. We need them to. We don't need you to be falling behind and all of that. If you can't overtake a guy that is taking all this time off, that has no idea with the mental and muscle memory reps of the offense, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. But I agree with Denbrock and Julie. We need continuity. And right now, the continuity we have is going to only get better from here. And then we add in a Riley Leonard during the season.
See, Love, this is why, we spend it different. Because, like, people told us last year, we don't understand why you're not high on Sam Hartman. And we referenced 2 games, Love. We said go watch the North Carolina State game and go watch him versus Louisville. 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. Just go watch the game.
Just
go watch the game. That's it. Forget the 4 years, all the stats, all that. No. Go watch these games right here. And what happened? Didn't translate. And so, we see people in the chat talking about, why aren't you guys so high on Riley Leonard? Show me the game that he won with his arm against a good team. Show it to me. It wasn't Duke. He beat Clemson with his legs. He came back against Notre Dame with his legs.
Yeah.
Show me the game, because in the first half, his passing game was hard.
That's what I'm saying. You can give me
all the excuses. You can give me all the passing game against Florida State, even though they were winning, horrible. Passing stats, horrible. Show me the game against a good team, Don't go get the games against Northwestern. I don't want to see that. Give me the games against North Carolina. I don't want to see that. Show me the games against a good team where he stayed in the pocket and won the game passing, because that's the next step for Notre Dame in big games against Georgia, against Alabama. You're going to have to do it from the pocket.
That's just going to have to be there.
Unless you expect Georgia to fumble 3 times inside the 10-yard line like Clemson did.
Right.
We're going to win the game like that?
It may, yes, I'm saying it may not have to be the main reason, but it's got to be there. It's got to be there. Oh, we need to throw. Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
We know we can complete it. We know we can stay competitive in that way. We can't just be one-dimensional. So, yes, you're absolutely right. We can't be one-dimensional, but that's the next phase for Notre Dame. Everybody knows we can run the football.
Man, that's all we said. We point to this. We dare to ask questions. We don't just jump up with gold and green pom-poms. We actually watch the game, ask questions, and say, watch out for that.
Yeah.
We want wins just like everybody else. But we're just not afraid to just throw the pom-poms in the air. We'll actually ask questions and say, oh, man, we might need to watch out for this. This could be an issue.
It could be an issue.
It could be an issue. And all of a sudden, when it becomes an issue, everybody's like, oh, yeah, we said that could be an issue. That's all we say. I don't know. Steve Angeli is taking strays. That's
what I'm saying.
People get mad because we say this. This is hilarious to me. People get mad because we come back from practice and say Notre Dame can win with 3 quarterbacks. Oh my God! Why are y'all dissing Riley Leonard? What are you talking about? Notre Dame finally has depth in the quarterback room for like the last 15 years. And now we want to get into a back and forth match about it should be Kenny, it should be Steve, it should be Riley. Who cares?
Who cares?
May the best man win.
Yeah.
May the best man win. Who cares? Well, I think Steve is this. Well, I think Riley is this. But you know what the point is? No one in that room is head and shoulders better than everybody else. No one. No one. It might be some slight differences. Somebody in the chat just said, everybody's reporting. It seems like everybody's reporting that Kenny has the best arm and the best legs.
Duh.
Then why are we trumping it for Riley Leonard then? If people are reporting from the practices, Kenny Minchie has the best arms and the best legs, and everybody's like, oh, Riley Leonard gives him the best chance to win. Based upon what? If the reports are that Kenny has the best arms and the best legs, then what are we talking about? Dude, just enjoy the fact that you have 3 good quarterbacks. With a 4th one, wait for the oven to preheat, like Left said. Period. And you got Deuce coming. With guys like Noah Grubbs and Brady Hart possibly joining. What are we talking about? We've never had this at Notre Dame. Not the quarterback room Left, not my memory. Never.
No.
Never. No. He just brought up Pitt. Are you kidding me? A Pitt game? Pitt?
Can't do it. Not Pitt.
Come on, man. What are we talking
Not Pitt.
about,
We can't rest on Pitt. We can't rest on Pitt.
We ain't resting on Pitt, dude. Sam Hartman put up numbers against Pitt. We're not doing
56-3 or something. Our thing is too is that like people don't realize you're poo-pooing on the talent, wishing on guys that are not even available. I'm only promoting the fact that we are talented enough in that room that if a guy goes down, that's okay. I'm not saying that he's 30 times better, but I ain't saying Riley's 40 times better either.
Because none of them are.
None of them. They all about the same. Like you can close your eyes and
they're within walking distance. They're all within walking distance. No bikes needed. No cars needed. No cars needed.
And that's the neighborhood. Yeah, we just don't have a disparity of, oh, this guy is the dude and all the little dude leans. No, they all got potential to be real solid.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can ask for. You can't.
There's no one in that room projected to be the #1 overall pick in the draft next year.
No one. None of them. Maybe not even first.
And that's okay. And that's okay. And that's okay.
But all those guys in that room are very capable. All those guys in that room with the right nurturing, they could possibly be a high round pick through a development, through a team effort, through the right opportunities, the right fit. But we're not in a position where we're rushing to play guys because they're so good, like a Jeremiah Love, where they're only going to be here for 3 years. The guys we got right now, they'll be here for a minute, and they're going to get greater later. I don't see any one of these guys as a oh man, we don't play him. We're not what? We can win 10 games with all 3 of these guys and get to the playoffs with all 3 of these guys.
You know what I love, Left? You know what I love in life? And this is what makes life incredible. I love when people prove me wrong, Left.
That's right. Yeah.
Steve Angeli proved me wrong.
Yeah.
Last year, this time I said Steve Angeli, I don't see it. I don't see it. You know what Steve Angeli did? He was like, man, skip Sean.
Yeah.
He took authority over his life. He put in the work and he proved me wrong. And guess what? He's a good quarterback right now.
Yeah, we ain't gonna say
I ain't gonna say I stopped myself from darn good. I did. I stopped myself from darn good. I had to white out. I had to go ahead and use the white out real quick. My fault.
He can do
that.
You caught
that. He's a good quarterback. We can win at Notre Dame.
He can win at Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame can win with him. I stopped myself.
Yeah, he always had us gassing ourselves. Now, wait a minute.
But my point is, he proved me wrong, Left.
That's right.
Riley Leonard, prove us wrong. Whatever stop signs and yellow lights we're putting up, prove us wrong. We would love nothing more Then for him to prove us wrong. Kenny Minchie, the things we said that we haven't seen yet, prove us wrong. CJ Carr, prove us wrong. Deuce, prove us wrong when you step on campus. Show us you can throw for 300 yards consistently in big games. Prove us wrong. The 26 quarterback, prove us wrong. Matter of fact, prove all of us wrong. One of you all lift the darn trophy.
That's it.
Prove all of us wrong. Lift that trophy. That's it. That's all we want. So it's silliness. And there's nothing wrong with us saying, yo, we have to see it. Because we haven't seen
That's it. That's
we
all
haven't
we
seen
said.
it.
We just haven't
That's
seen it.
it. We haven't seen it. And I'm sorry. Andrew, we love you, but Pitt ain't it. If that's you hoisting up for a big game, this is Notre Dame. Pitt is not a big name at Notre Dame. That's another thing. He hasn't played quarterback at Notre Dame. It's a totally different pressure.
It is.
Totally
It's like,
different
you
pressure.
just-
A totally different weight.
I'm not nominating any quarterback unless he's just undeniably a freak of nature. Like, come on, like that type.
No, he doesn't have to throw 300 every game. Just don't be bad. Be the pass against the top two defenses you face in Florida State and Notre Dame. How about that?
Yeah.
And Clemson. How about not being bad passing the
You can't
ball?
be bad. Even
in
if
those
you
three
win the
games?
game, you can't be bad in those games because we can't give you the credit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That's
Like
all
most of
we're
this
asking.
season is going to be hard to give you all the credit because we know that one, we're better than the teams that we're going up against, and we're more talented than the teams we're going up against. So if we win, it's like, okay, but you managed it right. When we
Mhm.
get to these playoffs, when we're playing teams that are comparable or even slightly under us or better than us, there's going to be moments in the game where, yeah, the quarterback's got to make the play.
And thank you, B. Hart. B. Hart just proved that point. He just proved a point. He was trying to take a shot at Steve Angeli. Oregon State wasn't it. Exactly.
Exactly.
So out of the three quarterbacks, show us who has proven that this is it.
Yeah.
Like we said, they're all in the same neighborhood. You just proved a point. That's all we're saying. And even though they're all in the same neighborhood, guess what? Notre Dame can win with all three.
Yeah.
Period.
That's the point.
That's it. Nobody's sitting up here with pom-poms for Steve Angeli, but you know what? He's much better than what he was last spring. I can confirm that. I can confirm that from my own eyes. I will step on the stand and testify. Yes, he's a much better quarterback than he was this time last spring. And give that young man credit. I don't give a darn what you think about his talents. I don't care what you think about his talents. Instead of spitting on him as a fan, how about clapping hands and giving the man credit for putting in work and not running like most kids in this transfer portal era? How about that? How about him saying, I'm the starting quarterback. I'm the last quarterback to start for Notre Dame. I'm not giving this position up. How about knowing that a fifth-year senior came in here and wasn't given the ability to check, but Steve Angeli was given the ability to check by the offensive coordinator? Where do they do that at? How about giving the young man some credit for the work he's put in to improve himself instead of sitting up here and denigrating the kid? How about that as a fan? How about that? But you want to get pom-poms for a dude that's never put on the helmet and don't have a clue of what it's like to be the quarterback in Notre Dame. Let's get the pom-poms out already. National championship. Based on what? Because we haven't seen it from any of them. None. So we're all in the dark. We're all in the dark.
Everybody's in the dark, yeah.
But I will tell you this. Physical talent in that room from last spring, night and day. It's not even close. No, it's not even close. None.
And this is just a battle of belief and knowing. When you believe something you don't know, you believe it. But when you know something is 100% fact. So it's like if I put beans in the pot and it says cook for 30 minutes and I cook it for 15, I believe they look done. They bubbling, they boiling, they look good. But do I know it's cooked or do I believe it's cooked? See, that's the difference. It's between knowing and believing. We know that Steve has put the work in. He's gotten better since the last time we've seen him last spring. And when he's gotten his time in there, it's looked different than what Sam was doing. It looked different because he was more comfortable. It looked different because he knew how to do more checks. He looked like he knew where the football was going before the snap happened. He was decisive. He was quick. We know that about Steve.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in this new setting that he can translate that into a new opportunity. We believe that. We don't know that for sure. Hell, we don't know Kenny for sure. We know that Kenny's the most talented. We believe that he'll be ready when he's called, but we don't know that for sure. So this is the difference between knowing and believing for us. And with Riley, we really don't know. Hell, y'all believe stronger than anybody else in Riley. And I think we need to do less of the belief and more on the knowing, especially in this first year until it shakes out.
Right. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. I have different expectations, Left.
Yeah.
Like they're talking in the chat, he's a tough guy. Jack Cone broke a finger and came back in the fourth quarter and threw a touchdown.
And they
that's
popped
always
in him.
Ian Book was tough. Man, I don't need a tough quarterback. I need a quarterback that can throw the ball in big games.
Yeah.
All that tough stuff, that's Notre Dame has had that. That's not impressing me.
We got tough
running quarterbacks, scrambling quarterbacks. We've had that. That's not impressing me.
Not impressive.
No.
That's what I keep saying.
It's
what is
not.
Riley doing that's that much more impressive than what
Angeli not tough?
Steve Angeli got heart. He run his ass off.
I think CJ Carr's tough. I think Kenny Minchie's tough. Man,
but give us an intangible about Riley that we can see.
Man, give me an intangible I haven't seen before, like running sub 4.4. I ain't seen that in the wide receiver room, but I saw it this spring.
Okay.
I saw it this spring. Now we're cooking.
Give me the super accurate quarterback where the first thing you say about it is like, man, he put it on the money. That's what I hope at one point we get to when we talk about our receivers and how they talk about our quarterbacks. When they talk about Aaron Rodgers, they said, oh man, they said the man be knowing everything. As soon as he sees something, he call it out, and man, it's like magic out there. Oh man, I don't have to worry about the football with Aaron Rodgers. He breadbasket. We got receivers talking about, man, it's the best running back I've ever seen at quarterback. That's the type of descriptions we getting. Oh man, talk about Riley. Oh man, this man's faith in Jesus. Oh, that brother love him some Jesus. That's Jesus himself right there.
See, this lets me know people don't listen. I literally took the fact that someone said Riley Leonard is tough, agreed that he was tough, and said that's nothing new at Notre Dame, and gave a list of tough quarterbacks we've had at Notre Dame. You know what somebody said? So you saying Riley Leonard's not tough? What are we talking about?
It ain't got nothing to do with throwing
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Just so sensitive for Notre Dame fans.
It ain't got nothing to do with no
we don't know how to handle success at the quarterback position. We just don't. This is amazing. We have probably one of the top 5 depth charts at the quarterback position in the country.
In the country, for sure.
From just an average out, up here throwing shots at one of the quarterbacks, saying something negative about the other quarterback when they all can win in Notre Dame. What are we talking about? Can the other quarterbacks outrun the Clemson defense like Riley Leonard? People in the chat just said it's being reported that Kenny Minchie has better legs than Riley Leonard. So yes. I didn't say that. Someone in the chat said that. It's being reported by multiple platforms that in practice, it looks like the best moving quarterback and the best arm in the room is Kenny Minchie. So you answer the question yourself. But why are we even going? Dude, how many times did I warn people, don't go down this rabbit hole? I just watched this. Dude, don't go down this rabbit hole. Because it doesn't matter. This season isn't about the quarterback. I don't care who the quarterback is. They're not about to carry Notre Dame.
Right.
Not about to be the narrative.
That's the whole point.
None of them are about to carry Notre Dame. Riley Leonard's not coming to Notre Dame to put the offense on his back. That's a different story, young man. Different story. Different story. But to be disrespectful to the development that is taking place under Gino Guidugli and sit here and say, with this schedule, the only quarterback that can get Notre Dame to the playoffs is Riley Leonard. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And then we call ourselves fans, and we'll pom-pom a dude that hasn't played a snap for Notre Dame and denigrate the other kids that have already put in blood, sweat, tears for Notre Dame. It's the same thing fans did for Sam Hartman last year. And look what you got. It's the same process. You threw the pom-poms up for that dude and spit on everybody else in the quarterback. And look what it got you. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
It's not even necessary. Who cares who quarterback? Who cares? If you believe they're going to go 8-4 with Kenny Minchie, it's a bigger problem than the quarterback.
100%.
Then we need to have a Marcus Freeman conversation. If they go 8-4 with Steve Angeli or Kenny Minchie. And the fact that y'all believe somehow, some way, that Riley Leonard is 3 to 4 games better. And on this week's schedule.
That's foolish.
This week's schedule. You think Riley Leonard is 3 to 4 games better than the other quarterbacks in the room? That's laughable. We can have a discussion. Now, we can have a discussion about the playoffs and facing like actual good teams. That's a worthy discussion. But sitting here as a real Notre Dame fan, predicting that Notre Dame will win, flat out lose 4 games with this schedule, outside of Riley Leonard, I question your fandom. Period. Because that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like you giving him way too much credit for
That's
what?
ridiculous.
What have you seen? What have you seen to be like, oh, this is way better?
And stop saying somebody is down on Riley Leonard. I just don't hold his testicles like you. I'm not down on him. It doesn't mean I have to massage his testicles. I actually speak truth to what I have not seen. You want to make up things. You still have not said one game against a good team that he's won from the pot. Not one. You still haven't proven it. Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's move on, man. This dude. I'm not mad about people loving Riley Leonard, but it's ridiculous as a fan when you feel like you got to spit on the other quarterbacks to do.
That's all I'm saying.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
like,
It's ridiculous. And you need to really think about your fandom at that point. Period. Christian Gray talking about the defense.
Much smarter. I used to look like I look like an idiot, kind of just like out there, because I wouldn't know the plays. Like, I know what I have, but I wouldn't know what other people have. Like that was the big factor in everything, and like I was kind of bad at not knowing that, but now I do. Like, I know it strongly, and like, and I have it with confidence that I could say it out into the meetings, like, well, oh, this is what he has, this is what I have, and everything. So yeah.
And then does that just give you an added sense of comfort now, just knowing the whole play and everything?
Oh yeah, definitely. That gives me so much comfort and just like confidence to go out there and just be like, okay, this is what I have, this is what my help is, and everything. So it gives me confidence and like, you know, like stress off my shoulders. So yeah.
Yeah, they kept Christian Gray ripped, bro. He's been putting in
he looked like that.
Putting in that work. Isn't it funny, dude? Let me tell you about personality. This is what I can tell you about this young man. This is he reminds me of you around his teammates. Like when he's around his teammates, dude, he's charismatic like crazy. Then all of a sudden he gets in front of the characters, man, and he wants to be like bashful. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute. Like, dude, you are literally a clown, man. You keep everybody in stitches, right? You are galvanizing. You are charismatic. It gets in front of the cameras all of a sudden. Just wants to play coy and bashful. Man, I love this kid.
Yeah, he's such a
man. I love
very,
it.
very bashful kid. I love it though.
I love it, man. But you can tell he's going to be a dude. He's excited about the defense. He talked about it. Last year, he flat out just said, I knew my job.
Yeah, he said, I didn't know what they were doing over there, but I knew what I was supposed to do. Yeah, that's a kid that you just, I know he just, they
That's
love
a
to be
freshman.
around him.
That's a freshman.
It's a fresh, they just like, man, who is this guy? Because he goes out there and he does his job. He does the job he knows. He don't do nobody else's job. But that's what you want from a personality. You know, now it's one thing to have talent, but you have personality. This is where your fandom falls in love with. This is where the TV show, it gets more ratings because now you're looking forward to hearing what Christian Gray's talking about because he's matching it with the talent. He's not just some hardcore football player, don't talk to me kind of guy. For him to be as talented as he is on the come up and then to be as goofy as he is, you get to see that development. I know the team vibes off of that real well.
My man, my man said he's comparing Riley Leonard to Lamar Jackson. Now that you talk about reaching, oh my Lord, I've seen it all today.
We hear a lot of
come on, man. Stuff. From what you've seen from Riley Leonard, if you think he's anywhere close to Lamar Jackson, go watch Lamar Jackson against Florida State. That's all I have to say. He did it with his legs and his arms.
Watch Lamar Jackson versus Clemson when he
in a loss.
That was like movie classic, all-time great.
Man, that is comical. That is comical. Matter of fact, you just disqualified everything that you said about Riley Leonard with that reach. Everything.
Yeah.
Man, they even threw for 20. What's his high? 60% completion percentage. But I'm not gonna play y'all game with denigrating a young man. I'm just pointing out, hey, he has some things to prove. Top talent.
Yeah,
matter of fact, Left, who sat on this podcast and said if he was healthy and played good last year, he could possibly go in the first round.
Yeah, that was what they were saying. But
me. So you're not about to try and paint this narrative that I don't think he's talented.
I mean, hell, we said that the brother could throw for 3,800 yards because of the receiver talent and the offense and what we got.
They don't want to hear that, Left. They don't want to hear that. They want you to say it the way they want. They want you to have pom-poms when you say it, Left. Because if you don't have the pom-poms, Left, then you're hating on the kid. You got to have the pom-poms. You got to massage. We don't do that. Sorry. We just don't. He's better. That's what Christian Gray said. He's better. Why?
Learning about a lot about my mindset after really talking to my coach Mickens, how I grew, how I'm growing right now, and right now, I'm just having that dominant mindset right now, just trying to dominate anybody who come in front of me. Really, to be honest with you, have that confidence as a strong cornerback, in a D1 college. It's kind of hard, but I'm just growing into it and everything. So I guess I can see that basically.
I like the kid, man. See, you know what? I bet you he's not overt like Jay Mickey is, trash talking wise. You know what I mean? But he's a confident kid. You could tell he's a confident kid. He's like, yo, I'm trying to dominate who's ever across me.
That's right.
Whomever.
And that's all you want. That it's that ignorant confidence. He's just like, I feel like I'm getting pretty good. I feel like I'm hanging in there. I'm what I expected in my mind of what a D1 corner looks like. And it's not, and it comes off as like he's confident, but it's like he don't know what he don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see him feel good about his own growth, I mean, you can't be nothing but happy for a kid that we see from the outside looking in, like, oh, that's a potential first rounder. He's still being like, am I a potential first rounder? I see all the signs. I feel myself growing in the right spot because it's all about fit. He's got the right fit under Mike Mickens. And on top of that, he's looking at guys in the room that are doing it. So you got guys that are leading by example on top of a coach that can develop you with some trust and some buy-in power.
Mm-hmm.
Mix that with his talent, a standalone in the vacuum of him being 6 whatever, 2 whatever, and running whatever. You got the perfect formula and cultivation of a room that you're going to be pumping them out. Carson Hobbs going to look at Christian Gray in the next 2 years and be like, okay, I see the model. Christian Gray looking at Ben Morrison. Ben Morrison looking at Sauce Garner and Kobe Bryant and all those guys that Mike Mickens had Before. Xavier Watts looking at it like, man, I've taken a little bit from everybody. Coaching, lead by example in the room. I made it my own. Now I'm setting an example for the safety. So I think all of it included is what is needed. And man, this is what you want to see from a retention factor, but also from a culture factor, pointing to the signs that we're gonna be pretty damn good in the years to come.
I'm sorry, NC Notre Dame fan, you're gonna have to go back to our show last week. We answered that question clearly. That's like the craziest thing in the world. Why did they go get him? You know what? Because smart coaches like to go get talent and stack. That's why we have stacked talent in the running back room. That's why we always have stacked talent in the offensive line room. That's why they're starting to stack talent in the wide receiver room. Just because you go get one player, all of a sudden you shouldn't coach and develop. No, man, we got Riley Leonard. Let's not go and get Brady Hart, Noah Grubbs, or Deuce Knight. What are we talking about? That's what big-time programs do. That's what Alabama did. They stack quarterbacks. That's what you do. That's what Oklahoma did, whether it's via the portal or whether Caleb Williams was sitting waiting behind Spencer Rattler, who was supposed to be the number one guy in the nation. Caleb Williams just sitting there waiting. Why'd they go, man? What are we talking about? That's what smart coaches and smart programs do. They go get good players.
That's it. Just go get good players.
Riley Leonard's a good player. You still haven't answered the question. When has he proven he can win a big game with his arm? Go find it.
Yeah,
When you get the evidence, show me. And if that's the case, he's no different than every other quarterback in the room because they haven't shown it either. Lucky Lefty podcast. When we come back, we'll hear from the wide receivers. Hear from him directly, Left. One in particular, you might love what he has to say. We'll be right back.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Lucky Lefty podcast, ONORA boys in the building, back at it. CFB Nation, Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audio Edibles each and every day, YouTube. Subscribe, share, hit the like button, leave comments. We respond to all. Appreciate you. Home of the Misguided Passion, forever be able to commit it to the commitment of spending it different. All right, Left, let's get right to the wide receivers. Special guest coming up to preview the Final Four as it comes up this weekend, starting tonight. Two phenomenal games on the women's side. Looking forward to it, man. We agree that we already know the powers that be. You know, we already know ABC on Sunday afternoon wants the best player against the best team, according to most people. That, man, you talk about a big win, ratings-wise. I don't know if the refs are going to give that. I don't know if the refs are going to give that, Left, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know.
It's going to be
can I make an early prediction? Because I don't mind, Left. I don't mind.
Go ahead.
Niel will be part of the Final Four, and the Fighting Irish will be part of the Final
Oh,
Four.
yeah. Look, Niel's a superstar coach.
I'm predicting it.
I'm not worried about it. She's going to have more rings and things when it's all said and done out of all coaches in the program, in my opinion. Marcus Freeman just need one. But Niel's going to mass like 2 or 3 or 4, because she's got everything you need, man. She's got the recruiting. She's got the talent. She's been there, done that. She's won there when she wasn't the lead. She's won there when she was a player. She got all the players in the world to come back, from a Skylar to a K-Mac to a Jewel to a Rike to even Ovio Hidalgo. So, you know, you're talking about the perfect person for the position. Niel's going to get a statue. Marcus Freeman's going to get one after winning one. He should. Since 88, if you get one, I mean, come on, they got to retire your jersey or something, man. Come on. But it's hard to do, though. But I think with the consistency, but the right support, too, I think Pete Pravacqua has done a good job of being a guy to step in and maintain, you know, and then try to do better and not take a dip, because it's high stakes at Notre Dame. So be able to manage that the right way, I think we're in a good position.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited. Let's get to it, man. Let's hear from some of these wide receivers, love. And somebody that we literally prayed for and wished the best for was senior Deion Colzie, man. I can imagine going through the nagging injuries he's had throughout his time in Notre Dame. I hope with this opportunity of getting a brand new coach that he sees as this opportunity, and he discussed his overall health right now and how he was feeling.
Physically, he took care of us this offseason. We still got quality work in, but also not to kill us too bad. And I feel like the mobility aspect of Lindo is something I really like, getting us more mobile, getting us loose for those cuts and stuff we need to make.
So he's feeling pretty good physically. Like I said, the injury is a nagging injury, hand injury. Unfortunate. Took place, I believe, in the 3rd practice. And, he was out there with the starters several times. So look, Godspeed to the young man. Flat out, Godspeed to the young man. Deion Colzie. Go ahead, love.
Yeah, you just want to see a kid healthy. I mean, right now, I feel like asking him too early is almost a detriment. Like, don't ask him right now. Ask him in week 3. Can he make it to week 3 healthy or healthy enough to be out there and contribute? Because, I mean, I'm sure he's sick of the healthy questions. Being a 5th year, being a guy that just wants to get rolling. It's a lot of like how Joe Wilkins was, from the aspect of, you know, just can't get right. And unfortunately, he had to go to another school, but it's an opportunity for him to capitalize on it. And I think, you know, it's good to see him standing upright and not in a hospital bed.
Man, darn right about that. He talked about Coach Brown and his impact. Let's check it out, Lef.
He's big about the little things, the details, which is important. If we don't do those little things, then the big plays you see on Saturdays won't happen.
Deion, I guess being a leader in your position, I guess, what's your advice been to Mike and Cam, the 2 members?
Honestly, just play hard and play fast. That's one of our mottos in the receiver room. As long as you play hard and play fast, if you mess up, at least you're doing it fast. So that's the best advice I can give him.
Yeah, this is the first time they could probably fulfill the second half of that mantra. They got speed to burn, so they definitely be playing fast. And I expect them to play hard because of the way that Coach Brown is coaching them. How do you feel about what you've seen from the time he got there as a coach? And we're going to hear from other receivers, their thoughts on their wide receiver coach. But it's a far departure from the vibe. And you can speak to that, Lef. When you get a change in the coaching, how impactful is changing the culture in that position room?
Oh, man, it's night and day. You know, you get the vibe of what the guy is bringing and what he comes into the situation with. But, you know, it's thin line, because at the end of the day, there's no loyalty, because he don't know you. You know, he knows about your film. But if you haven't gotten off on the right foot necessarily, naturally you'll just be pushed to the back. So for Mike Brown to keep it competitive, keep it even, but also be able to challenge Deion to be able to be better, and he can feel that that room kind of support that. It's not just a room where, they instantly feel the favoritism, instantly feel like the guy is forcing a change in the room. It's kind of happened naturally through competition. And I think Deion has finally found a place where he can be healthy enough to be consistent in competing, because that's really all you can ask for. I mean, receivers are a little different. You got 6 that rotate, 7 that probably play interchangeably, but you're going to get an opportunity. You just have to be available when your number's called.
Yeah, I agree with that, Left. Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's get to, let's see if, should I go back with Deion? Yeah, let's go back to Deion, man. He talked about the wide receiver room in the competition.
It's been pretty smooth, to be honest. We all mesh well, pretty good. We've grown closer since December. We hang out outside of football all the time, really just building that brotherhood and that connection to trust one another off the field, and we'll trust one another on the field.
And then where can you improve your game this spring?
Being more of a leader, as being one of the older guys in the room. But besides our transfer guys coming in, I think it's my role to be a leader in the group and to set the standard and to do what's right.
Hey, Left, does he look like 2 Chainz to you?
2 Chainz threw me off ever since he got in BMF with that giant, uneasy, unnatural fro. I don't know. They're trying to make him look young or old.
It gets that. Hey, BMF first season, pretty good. Great. This past season is just all. First of all,
it's a musical.
That shootout in the Tech Techwood was awful. Just flat out awful. Just AK bullets flying everywhere. Nobody's getting hit. It's just awful, man.
Leach got all this time to sit behind the car and talk about how the dude's music is gonna be remembered. Ain't no way. First of all, I'm scared.
Well, he's bleeding out, right?
Yeah, you talking about the dude music like you gonna save him or something. Dude, you get in the middle of a shootout with no gun. He didn't have no gun with him either. He was just sitting there. It was Tubi worthy. Definitely Tubi worthy. Then they done shot 2 Chainz out the show. I mean,
Cynthia Bailey from Housewives of Atlanta, dude. She's the mother of Texas Child. It is bad. Look. Yeah, let's get back to it. The wide receiver room, man. The culture. Deion Colzie just spoke to it to solidify what you already said. Left. Let's move on to somebody else in that wide receiver room. The Great Dane, as they call him, man. Talking about his patience, his flexibility. But before we get to that, he talked about wide receiver coach Mike Brown.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great coach. We all love him. He's definitely more laid back and relaxed. But I think that it mixes well with our room. I think the guys are really receptive to his coaching, and we all love him just as much as he loves us. And so I think that really shows on the field. Everybody in the room has really been developing since last year and making great strides. So I definitely think it's part of the coaching and our receptiveness to his coaching.
Woo! Shade. I don't know if y'all caught that. I caught it. The young man is very smart. Mike Brown told you, I got some smart wide receivers.
That's smart wide receivers.
Jaden Greathouse just very intelligently took the former wide receiver coach's head on. Number 1, he's far more laid back. Number 2, everybody's developed. Number 3, everybody's actually receptive to the coaching. He just 3 points. There's probably a little bit more up in there left, but Jaden Greathouse just let you know what was happening and what's happening now. Totally different.
Totally different. And I think that for a kid to be receptive of that and go the distance to acknowledge the difference, it shows that there was a room that was not like this room last year. And it stuck with him.
Who said the room was dysfunctional early in the year, Left? Who said that? Who said that, Left?
I don't know.
Who said before it started manifesting itself? Who? Oh, go ahead, Left. Go ahead, Left.
See, and that's something that, receivers, especially guys like Jaden Greathouse, these young guys, even Braylon James at TCU now, will learn as they go through college football and even NFL is that, it's about fit. And when you don't have the right formula in the room, you can tell, and it affects the team, it affects the room, it affects guys, it affects the season. So now you know what to look for and what not, and what you don't want. And now you're getting a refresh of what it looks like done right. it's easy to buy in, easy to be receptive, and guys like a Deion Colzie who was falling to the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like Jaden Greathouse who started hot but then became an unknown territory are both coming to the same place. Like, okay, this is what it looks like when it's done right. Everybody can get in and mix well. They all talk about, oh, this is mixed. We mix well with each other. You didn't hear that last year. I've heard that 3 or 4 times since Mike Brown's been there. Oh yeah, we all get along. We all got different strengths. We all mix well. We all got our things that we can add.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a conversation last year. So I think to be able to, for the young guys, the old guys, to see the benefit of what a year could do under Marcus Freeman addressing issues. They put them complaints in the complaint box on Marcus Freeman's desk, and he went in and got it handled. So I think those guys see that buy-in factor become even more real now. It's like, hell, Marcus Freeman just sat there and addressed the issues, got rid of a bunch of guys, brought in the right guys. The transfers didn't make a negative impact. We all get along. We'll run through a wall for you. So that's what you want to cultivate, and it worked out the right way.
Man, I'm looking forward to this kid because he talked about his flexibility, being more flexible as a wide receiver, mainly inside last year, but he feels like he can go to the boundary into the field and be used in several ways. This is Jaden Greathouse talking about it.
I mean, I love playing inside. I love playing outside. I'm really just focused on being that guy that I can do whatever they need me to do just to help the team win. I think that being able to play multiple positions is extremely valuable, and I'm just trying to be receptive to whatever they're teaching me, and just trying to help the team as much as I can, whether that's playing slot, whether that's playing outside, or playing to the field, anything, whatever they need me to do.
Before you jump into what the young man said, I would just like to say this. Like looking at Christian Gray and looking at this young man from that 23 class, they're carrying their weight differently. They both look a lot leaner, a lot more solid.
Oh, him and JT?
Him and Christian Gray.
Oh, yeah, Christian Gray.
Look, I'm not saying that's the Lauren Lando effect. I'm just saying they put in work, obviously, to become grown men and definitely stronger. Christian Gray talked about that. But just talk about the flexibility of this young man and how it can be used in his offense. And then eventually we'll get to your 3 guys that can eat on the back end.
Yeah, I think Jaden Greathouse has a great opportunity to be able to be versatile. That's the one thing Mike Brown talked about a couple of days ago, was that we're just trying to find how to mix guys and match guys in different ways. And for a guy like Jaden Greathouse, who isn't particularly the strongest suit to be outside, and he can have a lot of benefit inside, that's a guy that you want to have in the game as your third receiver or your one of the last option matchups, because he provides a lot of a mismatch to linebackers and also the corners, because he's not small. So if you got all the attention on your Chris Mitchells, all the attentions on your Faisons, all the attention on these receivers that we expect to be good, a Jaden Greathouse is a great fit to be that mismatch on 3, to be that mismatch on a guy they got to throw out there to try to hide from the offense. That's what makes the receiver room in totality really dangerous, is because we can put guys anywhere, mix and match guys inside and out, and create issues, even if that's not where the main play is supposed to go. So this is why I like a guy like Jaden Greathouse from a fit standpoint, is because I don't think he'll ever be.
We're not going to disrespect
Jaden Greathouse.
Thank you.
I mean, he be playing like Jordan. How about that? It's good to see.
Nice recovery. Your boy Drake needs a recovery like that.
That's right. That's right. But it's good to see him fit at a Notre Dame room, because I don't know if he ever has the talent per se to be a number 1 outright. But he always is going to be lining the weights and have a great career like a Tyler Lockett. He's never going to be DK Metcalf. Never. But Tyler Lockett make a lot of plays as that 2, that 3 potentially. He's always impactful on the team and can't get rid of guys like that, So I do think that, he's got that Doug Baldwin effect, that That gold potato fat.
I think the kid has a chance to be, if not the leading receiver, the second leading receiver this year.
Exactly. You know, he may not be the one, but he is always going to be in the mix and a crucial receiver to hold that room together.
I fully expect Chris Mitchell to
yeah, he's got to be the targeted guy. I still think that he's a 1B just because of his size.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hopefully that complements well with a JT or a Bo or one of those bigger receivers that we have, because we got all sizes and ranges.
Mm-hmm.
Smallest to the biggest, as fast to the slowest. So it's a fun year to be a receiver, and also Mike Brown at the receiver coach.
Man, it's a fun time to be that coach. Hey, here's JT when he was asked, since you brought him up. JT was asked about his health.
Right now, you know, just coming out here in the spring, being able to, you know, feel healthy again, give my teammates, you know, the best me I can, and being able to, you know, just be out on the field, you know, being also that leader again, which I'm blessed to do.
And then how different is Mike Denbrock's offense than last year? And I guess, is it tough to pick it up at all?
I mean, it's different. I feel like with any new offense, you're gonna, you know, struggle at first, or you're not really, you know, get the core concepts at first. But you know, ultimately, it's been fun. We've been making a lot of plays. We've been seeing a lot of balls go up, fresh to grab. So I feel like any receiver's happy about that.
Okay, I concur. A lot of plays have been made.
Yeah, and I think what's cool about that is that, you know, he's learning in a sense a new offense. Same with Steve. You know, Steve is not the most veteran in the room when it comes to understanding the offense, but he's the most veteran and experienced in the game. And I think that's what JT is trying to marry up with each other, to be able to learn these new concepts, get them down, but apply his game experience to them, which he has the advantage over certain guys. So they're all in the same pool here. Similar to the quarterbacks, we can win with all three quarterbacks. We can most likely win with the core group of guys in the receiving room right now. Now, whether we're talking about who's getting more targets than the other, I think it's subjective at this point. But you just want to be in the pool. You just want to be in that 12-foot part of the pool when it comes down time to, you know, to get right. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing that can happen as a receiver in this room, or even a quarterback, is to not be in the mix, not be in the conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's open. I don't think we've nominated a number one guy in the receiver room or even the quarterback room yet. But I know we have 3 potentials in the quarterback, 7 potentials out of the 6 to get the nod in the receiver room. So as long as you're not that 7th, 8th guy.
Bro, I don't know if you can get 7 out of 6. That's new math, baby.
No, I'm saying it's 7 or 6. It's 6.
Oh, 6 or 7. I got you.
And the 7th fringe guy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the fringe or the 8th guy. That's all.
You definitely don't want to be that dude. But somebody's gonna get left out.
Somebody gonna get left out. But to be in that 6th though,
someone with talent. There, man. Dude, somebody's gonna get left out in the quarterback room.
Yeah,
they
already shelved CJ.
Yes.
They already shelved. They said, listen, you're shelved, but it's okay. You're shelved.
And people don't like it. But it's like, yo, there's no need to rush him.
No need to rush CJ. No.
Let the oven preheat. Let it preheat.
Man, because you got to let it thaw out. CJ, you got to let thaw out. You got to leave on the kitchen counter in the morning because you got to come back after work, and then he'll be ready. That's before you even get to the oven.
Yeah, I don't do that microwave thaw.
Yeah, Kenny's sitting in the sink with the water running over. He ready to be. That's old school. He ready to be put on that cutting board right now. You know what I mean? So there's a difference between the two. But CJ just got out that deep freezer. They say, listen, you good in the deep freezer, man. Because you ain't gonna go to spoil. You definitely ain't gonna go to spoil.
Left with the analogies on par today, baby. Matter of fact, forget on par, you on birdie today. Lucky Lefty podcast. Oh man, I'm still looking out the window. Hopefully, I can at least go to the driving range today, Left. Hopefully. He talked about the patience that he has.
Definitely, yeah. I think a lot of our strength and conditioning has definitely attributed to that. But also just kind of not necessarily throwing the thinking of the game out of the window, but trying to think less and play faster. I definitely think that's been a mindset that I've tried to have this spring and throughout this year, and just being able to play fast so that I can dominate the way that I want to.
And then just going through the ups and downs of a freshman year, I guess, what did you kind of get out of last fall?
Just to be patient, really. We have a lot of great receivers in the room, and all of us have the ability to pop off at any given second. So I think just trusting the coaching, staying the course, doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing and that I need to be doing, like hydrating, recovering, getting extra work in when I can, and just trying to stay the course so that I can be prepared for when it's my time.
Was there a moment in between your freshman and sophomore year left, or that following spring after your freshman year, when the light went on when it came to like taking care of your body?
Yeah, it happens after the first camp when
Okay.
you realize you're like, oh my God, dude, like, why am I hurting so bad? Because the practices get a little longer in the tooth. You go to camp, and camp is a little more tough because of the time, really. I mean, you go wake up early, then you got to go to practice. And by that second practice of the day, you're like, oh, this is college football. And you start to see the differences in how guys take care of themselves. You see guys rolling out in the foam rollers. You see guys taking a nap. You see guys hitting the training room every day, living in the training room. You see guys that got the Cam McDaniels that got 6,000 or 7,000 powders and shakes and drinks and recovery shoes and all type. So you start to take pieces. You got guys that do the cold tub, hit the cold tub twice, 3 times. So the way you find out about recovery is through your teammates and through seeing what works and doesn't work. It's a big trial and error aspect to it. So it's really cool to see how guys, when you get older, when you're freshman, you think you can run all day until you get to your junior year and you're like, nah, let me tempo this down because I know I got a long day, a long week. I'm trying to get prime positioning, because by the time you get to the 6th game of the season, you want to be in prime form. So that's, everybody's different on their recovery and their journey in that aspect. And so Jaden Greathouse is really having to evaluate that, especially when you're going through a big first-time injury. So for me, I didn't get injured through all of high school, and so my first big injury was my ankle. Prime time for me to start getting on and turning up. So it was a huge adjustment, because from never being injured to having a season-ending injury in my first one, I had to learn how to bounce back and recover and do the things necessary. So sometimes it happens on its own, but guys that are proactive about what they do, they're going to be more heavily on the aspect of how to take care of your body. And that's when that stuff really starts coming in.
Now we get to your boy, Jordan Faison, not really participating, going through some drills every now and then. He's definitely getting mental reps, but he said that this offense left. Well, first of all, let's hear from him talking about those mental reps in his process.
I mean, not being able to be on the field and do the actual live rep is a big difference, but having those mental reps, especially with the new playbook, being able to learn it and then being able to come out and watch it and see how the guys do it, especially against different defenses too, has been a big help. So it's definitely a big part of it.
And then after Sun Bowl prep, I know you got extensive time with him, but Coach Brown, I know you said you couldn't kind of do this without both coaching staffs, but just your impressions of Coach Brown and his impact so far.
Yeah, no, he's an awesome guy. He's definitely helped develop my game. Even when I'm not out on the field, he's taking care of me. We have one-on-one meetings. He's teaching me, the ins and outs of the playbook. So, again, without him, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Woo, Jordan Faison, once again, he's actually being taught instead of being screamed at, left. Probably makes a difference. Probably makes a huge difference.
Oh, it probably does something different for you when you're able to feel like you're being coached and not yelled at. Absolutely. But for a guy like Jordan Faison, who has found the right opportunity and really has put his foot in it it's kind of cool to see because he's getting more attention than he probably would of being out of the recruitment transfer or recruitment portal. So it's cool to see him make some headway. Hopefully he can be an impactful piece to this offense, similar to a Jaden Greathouse, where they may not be ones, but damn it, they need to be in with the ones to make the ones work. You can't have, the door without the doorknob. These guys got to be the doorknob, and our ones got to be the door. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play off of each other. And this is where Mike Brown's expertise and his coaching comes in. Do we put a Greathouse, Jordan, and a Chris Mitchell together? Or do we do a Bo, Chris, Faison, and then rotate Faison with Greathouse? Do we throw in a Deion? So you got to be a mad scientist with it, and you only can do that when you have the versatile players and the smart enough players to do it, and we got all of that.
Special guest coming up, just confirmed, Lucky Lefty podcast, trying to wait for him to preview the Final Four starting tonight with the women's side. Left, one more. I'll play this, and then I know you're probably going to go for like 5 to 10 minutes off of this left. Jordan Faison. It was all a dream.
Oh, yeah. We love in the slots especially. We love it because, we're moving all around, getting different matchups. So, it's like a dream offense kind of. He loves the 11 personnel and throwing the ball, so you can't ask for much more.
Man said it's a dream offense, love.
Absolutely, because
dream offense.
Absolutely, of course it is. Anytime you see the success of a previous offensive coordinator, like I'm sure there was a bunch of love for Joe Brady the year after Joe Burrow and him had success at LSU with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. What a team, right? I think you can build something similar at Notre Dame where you're going to have guys pop out and be stars. It would be ideal if we had 2,000-yard plus receivers. It's speaking a little ahead of ourselves, but we have the potential for it, and that's really all that matters is the fact that we know we have a guy that can get it done, and we believe that we got guys that can make it happen. So I'm super excited to see where this can be, but also super excited to see guys like a Jordan Faison find his role in the offense that's star-studded offense.
I think he will. I think one of the highlights will be I'll give credit to not credit, but if you haven't been able to follow Brian Driscoll, he's been doing a film breakdown all spring of the Mike Denbrock offense at LSU. By no means am I comparing the top 3 wide receivers in LSU's offense last year to Notre Dame's wide receiver room. Maybe a couple will become first-round picks, but needless to say, the second overall pick in the draft, presumably, and then 2 first-round receivers, with Lefty probably being another one next year to come from LSU. That's pretty top-notch talent in the offense, love. But I do think the wide receiver room, from a speed standpoint, is really good. From a physical standpoint, combination of speed and size, I don't know. But with that being said, one of the most effective ways that Mike Denbrock got explosive plays was from the slot. So Harrison, Faison, Greathouse, just schematically what they love to do, which is one of their favorite routes is the fade. That fade route, bro. Out the slot. So
yeah, that slot fade is the most common ran route right now in college football. It's if you can throw it really well, it's a definite go-to. It's a good change of pace for an offense. It's an explosive play. That slot fade is huge. LSU did a lot of it. That was their specialty. Hell, we was doing that when Denbrock was at school before, So slot fade is the most successful route right now in college football. And it's ran all the time. So if you got a guy that runs a 4.3, and you got a guy that's a big body that can make plays in range and space, I can see the ball traveling downfield a lot more than just being super intricate with a bunch of concepts and play calls that are fancy. And, we don't have to be the smartest team in the world to win games this year. Sometimes we just have to be the right formula of guys in there, and then just play simple and let the talent speak for itself.
I heard George Faison say that Mike Denbrock loves 11 personnel, which he feels like fits the talent in the wide receiver. Having that 11 personnel, how does that impact a program that has been synonymous with 12 personnel and the tight end in the passing game? Like, do you think Notre Dame fans are going to be in shock what they see from this Notre Dame offense based upon what they've seen in the past?
They should watch 2015 film with Will Fuller and see how the tight end incorporated with an outside threat and how it worked and operated with the run game. I think it'll be very similar to the type of play that we had in 15 and how we stretched the field and did different things. And it was very simple. I mean, we was running right, running left, and we take a shot deep. So it wasn't like the formula was a secret sauce. It was just a more simple way of getting to what we are good at, and that's just having the better players, more talented players in positions to make simple plays against matchups. Denbrock's really good at that. He's not going to give you a bunch of complicated things, and he's depending on his players with these simple play calls or simple enough to catch it or to run to the certain spot and make it happen. He's depending on you just as much. He's not taking the ego route of, oh, I'm the smartest play caller in the world. I gotta, we gotta have a trust factor and calling these plays. And if I don't trust you, I'm not calling it. He's gonna call a basic play, and you're gonna have an opportunity to catch the football or run the football, and it's up to you after that.
It's amazing you say that, because whether or not you run 11 personnel, you flex the tight end out, which he'll have the ability with the tight ends they have. Mitchell Evans can flex out. Cooper Flanagan can flex out. Eli Raridon can flex out. Jack Larson, the baby of the group, he can flex out. But I love the combination that they run with that slot fade left, because usually the outside guy's given the option, right? He can run hitch because, you're attacking the DB. If you're running man-to-man, now the slant is wide open from the field. And then you also have swirl routes, hitch. It's a lot of different things you do with the outside guy. And then Mike Denbrock, out of that formation running that, he loves to seem to run the backside over, opposite of the slot fade. Whereas if things aren't, you can always come back to that. So,
yeah,
all of that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, love.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about too, because running guys across the field, you got a guy that's a 4-3 now. So when you run a guy across the field, he's getting to places, he's getting somewhere, and it'd be huge for us to take that next step and then hit those guys. We haven't thrown some cross routes in a long time on a consistent level. So to see a vertical and crossing type of game develop with a team that has been so heavy run oriented, I think it'll be refreshing for the offense and for also the fans to see that there's hope within what we're doing. We're not just, doing things because we have the players. We're doing things to make the players better.
Now, is there an intricacy of that slot fade? Because, you're talking about different body types, right? You're talking about Jaden Harrison and Jordan Faison, which are your quick, fast guys. But then a big body type like Jaden Greathouse can also be used, especially in the red zone. Even if you flip it and put the slot fade to the boundary, now you get into your physical wide receiver being able to run that in the red zone for touchdowns. There's a lot of different things you can do with that. Like you said, it's the most popular route to run in college football, heck, high school football for that matter. It's a lot of different ways, and you can use the flexibility of the wide receiver room to accentuate that and be successful.
Yes, and what's great about it is it's the best throw to make, because for quarterbacks that aren't the most accurate, you're running it with space to where you have room from the sideline, and also you have room to the field. For a bigger guy, it's about not throwing it out of bounds. For a smaller guy, it's about throwing it with enough room. So you're going to have best of both worlds. When you have that play called in certain parts of the field, and then in those same certain parts of the field, you can use personnel with that same route and get different results. You can work on the back shoulder, you can high point it, you can lead them, you can sneak past the defense. So slot fades have definitely been the topic of discussion for getting open. And I do think that having those opportunities in that aspect for our receivers, you're going to see a Chris Mitchell get some explosive touchdowns. You're going to see a Bo Collins get some touchdowns in the red zone. You're going to see a Jaden Greathouse and Jaden Thomas and a Jaden Greathouse get those opportunities on third down. So this is a trust and confidence factor, which goes back to why I believe Kenny will fit great into this, because it's about having different levels of football. You can throw a soft fade on a rope. You can throw it an air mallet and drop it in the bucket. You can throw it back shoulder. So this is the things that, for this to be a favorite route, something that we practice a lot, Kenny has the ability to throw those different ranges. Can Steve throw it consistently? We'll find out. But he's going to have opportunities to throw it because they're going to call it. They're going to call it. We know Riley Leonard is very limited in throwing the ball down the field anyway, so this is a growth for some quarterbacks, but for others, this might be the route that changes their career. It changed Jaden Daniels' career. I mean, he had some great back shoulder throws and slot fade throws throughout the year.
But it was against the Oregon State defense in the Sun Bowl, but we did see success with Steve Angeli throwing that route to Jordan Faison. Throwing the fade route to Jordan Faison early. So, look, all of them have something to prove left. I would much rather have the talent than to have somebody suspect that just puts up stats. Well, we kind of had that last year, but let me stop. Lucky Lefty podcast.
Just can't stop.
Hunter H, thank you for the super sticker, my man. Much love to you. I got Truman. Theodore Dumel. Is Eli Raridon the tight end one? Also, who will replace Aldrich, and how will the Batman and Robin team of Golden and Denbrock tag team for success? Hope y'all had a blessed Easter. See the light of your father's heart. Oh man. Truman, thank you, man. Absolutely. Truman is saying he actually saw, I'm assuming he's saying he saw our Easter.
Online?
Yeah. Truman, man, hold on, man. That hit me in the heart. I appreciate that, bro. For you saying I'm the light of my father's heart, man. That means a lot to me. I greatly appreciate you, man. Those are some extremely kind words. Go ahead, Left. Who replaces Aldrich? Is Eli Raridon tight end one? I think that depends on the health of Mitchell Evans.
Yeah.
Replace Aldrich and then Denbrock and Golden before we bring in our special guest.
Yeah, I think replacing Aldrich was more of we're thankful for the graduation of Aldrich and him being able to do everything he needed to transition a guy like Jeremiah Love, a guy like Jabron Payne, a guy like Kedron Young coming in to set the stage of expectation. And that, it proves that the hottest guys don't carry the football. And we got 2 or 3 guys that are pretty hot that can carry the football at a high volume. And, thankfully we got a guy that got everything he got out of it. Got healthy, is in the draft right now, is going to do his thing. So I'm not really worried about the Batman Robin on that aspect. And then that's in Eli Raridon. I think the tight ends, we're going to see a guy like Jack Larson pop up maybe. We're going to see guys in that tight end room always make an impact. It's just a matter of winning.
I mean, that's what we do.
It's tight end still.
That's what we do, man. Like, what was the scene from what was that? Wedding Crashers, dude. Crack cakes and football. That's what we do. It's like, dude, that's Notre Dame. That's what we do. Offensive lineman and tight end. Like,
that's right.
For a fact, that's what you're going to get from Notre Dame. Special guests, we welcome in our brother, 1/3 of Three's Company. It's only right. Like, we're previewing the Final Four, but we have to let our brother talk his ish. I mean, we got to. We have to. My boy Ken hey, bro, look. Look at him. Go back.
Yeah.
We don't give a piss about nothing but the Pack.
That's
baby.
right. That's
We
right.
don't give a
Let's
piss
talk
about
your stuff.
nothing but the Pack.
Shout out
Let me tell
DJ
you
Burns,
something.
man.
Let me tell you something. 14 teams in the history of college basketball since the start of the thing up till now. 14 have sent their men and women to the same Final Four. Okay? And let me tell you something. This is the first time that both of a men's and women from the same school, 9 or more point underdogs in both of their matchups. I don't give pissed about nothing but the Pack. This here is something special. It's feeling like 83. It's feeling like 83 round.
Are you the 14 or is UConn the 14?
Well, so technically, since they counted as like whenever two teams go, that's only one time because that's the same Final Four. Right. It's 14. Now, in terms of total schools, I believe it's 15 or 16, which depending on who you will put first between us and UConn, we'd be the 15th or 16th. So
better combination of teams, North Carolina State, UConn.
North Carolina State. Come on now. Listen, UConn may have some 6'6", 6'7" guards over there and all that good stuff.
UConn got a farm on there.
But we got America's sweetheart, the big man with the sweet feet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
The big man with the twinkle toes, okay?
Hey, Notre Dame fans know all about DJ Burns smashing dreams at the end of games.
Yeah, now listen. All I want to say is this, though, okay? As much as I love DJ Burns, as much as I love NC State, we need to be very serious about this. Could he be an NFL left tackle thing? Knock it off. Knock it. I don't think y'all understand how hard it is to be a lineman in the NFL, offensive or defensive. It is not. It's not what you think it is. Jordan Mailata has y'all fooled, and he played a position called a prop in rugby, which is very similar to offensive line in football. It's not, that's a very different. Most of the basketball players that transitioned over were tight ends for a reason. Not saying tight end is easy, but that one is much more about go up and get the ball type of deal than it is like, hey, you have to work your technique and keep this guy with hands like a ninja away from our quarterback. And by the way, he's Myles Garrett. Huh?
He can be a nose.
He's 6'9". He's 6'9". You know how much leg that is to cut down if I'm a guard?
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, we going outside zone? Give me that knee, brother. Come on with me. Come on with me. Oh,
he could be a solid. He could be a real sturdy 3-tech too.
Now, here's what I will say. Could I see him playing a 4-eye like maybe Tillery or something like that? Possibly. Possibly. I could see that. I could maybe see him playing a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of two guy. Yeah, I can see it. But again, I wouldn't put that on DJ because people don't understand how hard that is. Like the things that are considered a flagrant get you kicked out the game forever in basketball. That's a normal play in football. I
doubt he'll lack physicality.
No. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm saying just imagine you go from dealing with Zach Edey trying to stop your spin move, and you now go to a league where you got Quentin Nelson and Joe Alt both putting their hands on you saying, hey, come with me. You going out the club. Different story. It's a very different ball game. Zach's a strong guy. He's not Quentin Nelson. He's not Joe Alt. Those are two little different ball games.
Let me ask you a question, being a little bit presumptuous, right? Let's say his path is Cleveland. Cleveland. Let's say that's his path. Does he surpass Lorenzo Charles and Wolfpack lore?
Okay, first of all, God rest Lorenzo Charles' soul. That was a good man. That was, by all accounts, I've never heard a bad story about the man. Okay, never heard a story about him where it was like that's a bad guy or anything like that. With that being said, absolutely. Absolutely. This NC State team has made a turnaround in terms of men's basketball that I don't think we've ever seen in all of college basketball. I want y'all to think about this, okay? When they were playing Louisville, I was watching the game, and actually, let's go before the Louisville game. So y'all know how bad Kenny Payne was at Louisville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Payne was so bad, the buyout was already agreed to before that game. Like, there was everybody knew, like, regardless of what happens in this tournament, Kenny Payne is gone. He's agreed to the buyout. Is it? Kevin Keats was in a very similar situation. Not that a buyout was on the table, but that, you know, Grayson Boone, who is my co-host on Locked On Wolfpack, and I had a saying for Coach Keats all year: no dance, no chance. If they did not make the NCAA tournament, the big dance, there was no chance that he'd come back as head coach. A lot of fan base was disgruntled with him, and he had started to lose the boosters. And yet, they found themselves trailing at half against Louisville, who had not won 2 straight conference games since Kenny Payne took over as head coach. And so, you know, you go from there to now Coach Kevin Keats winning the first championship in the Big 3 sports, men's basketball, football, or baseball, and it at NC State in 32 years. Only one of us on this show was alive last time that happened. Left, you're not 32 yet, right?
No, yeah.
Yes.
Before Left's time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. So with that being said, you know, SHAUN was the only one of us that was alive. And don't let the salt and pepper fool you. SHAUN was barely alive. It ain't like he was graduating from Illinois at that time. That wasn't what was going on. So, you know, that to see that turnaround that quick, and now to see Coach Keats be a beloved figure and Wolfpack lore as well. If DJ Burns is to win conference, the ACC tournament, most outstanding player, he won the most outstanding player for their region. If he goes on to win a national championship and wins most outstanding player, again, we love Lorenzo Charles. What he did will never be forgotten. Mm-hmm. But DJ Burns, that's America's darling right now.
DJ Burns, help your boy out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand Purdue.
Oh, yeah.
Help your boy out.
You can't stand Purdue?
Oh, I can't. Dude, I told you. That's why I put Coleman Hawkins on the petty train. First of all, that ridiculous, embarrassing loss last weekend, and then after the loss, you get on social media talking about go Boilers, go Big Ten. What?
Yeah.
Where they do that at? I mean, man, ask Kenton, is he ever going to say go Tar Heels? Ask him.
Have some shame. Have some damn shame.
Have some.
I would never.
Never.
I would never.
Just
when they say
you guys think, go Boilers, go Big Ten. No, sir.
When I'll give you a funny story about how I am about stuff like that. A couple years ago, I want to say it was Hubert Davis's first year as head coach. It was Coach K's last year. Do y'all remember what one of those Final Four matchups was? It was Duke UNC.
Yeah.
Duke UNC. Coach K's last game was a Final Four game against UNC. Everybody was asking.
Caleb Love game. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was asking, Kenton, who you going to be rooting for? Kenton, who you rooting for? And I told everybody the same thing. Well, you know, I got so many interesting options here because the 2 options that I have, they're both so intriguing. It's tough to pick one. And they said, oh, so you like both teams? I said, no, we got the Rapture and the Asteroid. I'm trying to decide which would be a better way to go because the Rapture, it's like, do I want to know if I'm not chosen or not? Like, do I want to know? The Asteroid that seems kind of painful, but it's like, if I'm left in the Rapture, that's painful too. So, you know, I was left with 2 very interesting choices, neither of which were the Tar Heels or the Blue Devils. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast, our boy Kenny is 1/3 of the Three's company right here. So look, the biggest story, Kevin Keats, man, incredible coaching job in the way he's turned that team around late in the season. Phenomenal. Hey, bro, I don't know, bro. I love me. You and I've been texting you all year about the Lady Wolfpack. Have I not?
Yeah,
I've been watching them all year. Man, from day one, like, yo, I love Isaiah James. Like, yo, I love the guards. Left. I don't know, man. It's a tough task, my brother. It's a tough task. Not because North Carolina State isn't good enough.
No, I got you. Yeah.
It's just a tough dude.
Don Staley, for Wiley, Cardoso and company. That's a crew. They got a crew. They got a squad. And I'll tell you this, beating South Carolina is no easy task. That's no, nothing to scoff at. But I say for this game, the same thing I said for the Oregon and Washington rematch. The line is too big. When I saw that line, I knew Oregon was doomed. And when I saw this line, I said, "Oh,
we did the same thing." Like
the line is
Oregon favored over Washington after they lost the last 2 times they played.
Here's the thing. I wasn't even mad that they were favored because I understood Washington kind of limped to the finish line. Every game they played was close as Oregon dominated. I get it.
Yeah.
But you can't forget what happened when they met head to head last time. And here's another fun fact about Coach Moore that people don't know, and it's like slipped out of the American psyche for whatever reason, and that has the women of the Wolfpack having such small odds to win it all. There's only one team in the Final Four right now that has not only played all the other 3, but has beaten all the other 3, either at a neutral site or their court. That's the Wolfpack. They've beaten South Carolina. They've beaten Iowa in Iowa. They've beaten UConn in Connecticut. Ain't that interesting? They beat UConn this year. They beat them this year. And nobody's giving them a shot. Nobody's giving them a snowball's chance in hell.
I've watched them, so I give them a shot.
I'm going to tell you what. When I saw how big that line was, I said, yeah, I'm not a betting man, but if I was,
go ahead, a little something on the pulpit.
I'd be outside some people's houses with them SRTs and them Crown Vics saying, come outside, I just want to talk.
That's right.
I'm not here for my money. I just want to talk, friend. Come on out. Come on out. Because I told everybody, and y'all can go back through the tape and watch it. I tell people all the time, I love NC State, but I love being right just a little bit more. I told everybody when the bracket came out, I said, this is probably the NC State women's team best chance to win a national championship that we have seen in quite some time. Normally, they get a horrible draw in terms of brackets. Like the year that they had everybody fully loaded up, it was Cunane and Jones and Crutchfield and Raina Perez and all them. Everybody's a 4th or 5th year senior, and you're like, oh my God, this team is so great. They end up getting a 1 seed that meant that they were going to have to play Connecticut in Connecticut. Like, come on, man. If you're going to do that, don't make them a 1 seed. Make them a 2 seed or a 3 seed or send them somewhere, But this year, although this team isn't seen as the same level as that team, especially after, Notre Dame just love taking one up off us. They just love taking one up off us.
It's the Hannah show. Y'all just happen to catch the Hannah show. That's all.
The Hannah show.
Y'all just caught the Hannah show. That's all.
Let me tell you something. Hannah is disrespectful to those who are no longer with us because since Jimmy V's birthday, NC State men's and women's team are 15-1 combined. The only loss coming to Hannah.
H2, baby.
All I'm saying is she could have let that one slide. She could have said, you know what? Something bigger than me is at play. Something bigger than me is at play.
She said, I got Drake on my side. That's what's big.
Oh.
But you know what? For her to beat the Drake curse, that say something too now. That say something too, because whenever Drake throw on your jersey, I've been waiting for Zach to put on that, for Drake to put on that Zach Edey jersey. They both Canadians. They both biracial Canadians. I know he got to go help his brother out. That's your brother in more ways than one, Drake. Go put the Edey jersey on.
Drake ain't gonna do that, bro.
I
don't care if the connected Drake is a little bit, his people around him a little bit too smart. Like, nah, bro.
Well, Drake got some other problems he got to deal with right now. Okay, he don't need to worry about making no appearances.
Wait, don't, because I'm gonna let you talk on it. I'm gonna let you speak on it.
I'm just saying he don't need to be making no appearances right now. The only appearance he needs to be making is in the booth. That's it. That's the only appearance I want to see him make. But that's neither here nor there. The reality is these teams are 15-1 since Jimmy V's birthday. God rest his soul as well. And it went from why not us for the men's team to why not both for both of these teams going and getting themselves in that.
Okay.
So I'm believing in why not both right now. NC State women play tonight, and guess what? I got them winning this one. I got them taking this game.
I have no problem with you predicting that. Like I said, I've loved NC State. I have the text to prove it. I've been talking about them since like day one. Like, they're nice. They're nice. But
I'm on tape saying it. As soon as I saw the draw and I saw Texas is number 1 seed, Stanford the number 2 seed. I say, oh, NC State's coming out of that region. Yep. People call me everything but a child of God. No. Ain't it funny? Ain't it strange how that worked out? You know,
you are a child of God. You are a prophet in your own right, my brother.
I try to be.
Now, let me tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm pulling for the Wolfpack. But let me tell you something. Let me be a little realistic right here. I hope DJ Burns gets it done. Mm-hmm. I hope he does replace Lorenzo Charles. Mm-hmm. But my spidey senses are telling me that it's going to end if he faces that Connecticut team, my brother. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're different beasts now.
Looking real good.
Bro, what they did to my Illini, I was embarrassed, bro. I just cut the game off. I was just like, you know what? I can't even stomach this anymore.
Let me tell you something. You know who else had people turn the TV off because the games was getting that embarrassing?
Who was that?
It was some team out of some small town in Texas. They had a fraternity of it was like what was it, Phi Slamma Dunkers or something?
Yeah.
Phi Slamma Jamma. Yeah.
You're good.
All I'm saying, listen, they said NC State definitely can't keep up with Hakeem Olajuwon. You know, that Drexler kid gonna put the brake. He gonna beat the brakes off them boys. Wittenberg can't keep up with Clyde. You know, Thurl Bailey too tall and slow to keep up with him. So who they gonna get to keep up with him? Ernie Myers, a freshman? Who they gonna get to keep up with him? Cozell McQueen? He too tall and slow. Who gonna keep up with him? That's all I kept hearing. That Benny Anders coming off the bench. They too deep. They too good. It's too much. Lo and behold, there was somebody cutting down them nets.
Yeah.
There was somebody. There was some Italian guy from New York running around the court. He was running around the court looking for a player to hug. Yeah. And last time I checked, that coach might have been Jim Valvano.
Yeah, I think Kevin Keats will pimp it a little bit more than Jim.
Oh, absolutely. Because Kevin Keats is a little too cool, calm, and collected to run around the court and look for somebody to hug. He gonna call his agent. He gonna be on the phone. Hey, get the 11 ice cream shirt. Print it. Get the 11. Get every team we beat. I need all 11 of them. As a matter of fact, call up Baskin Robbins. Call up Goodberry's. Call up every ice cream joint that is in the area and make sure that we have options on the table when I touch down. Click. That's what it was. Oh, actually, I did it wrong because, you know, that's how we used to talk on the phone. We do this now. Tell them all have it lined up when I get back. Please.
Just end call.
Click. That's what it would be. That's what it would be. You know.
Let me tell you something. You talk about this matchup, but, this might be the most viewed combination of Final Fours in the history of college basketball. Flat out. Because if LSU versus Iowa broke the record, and North Carolina, as you put, State could pull off the upset against South Carolina, but I promise you, if it's South Carolina against Caitlin Clark on Sunday afternoon,
and that's my concern. That is my concern.
Oh, you know the big guns. That's what they want.
And I'm going to tell you, when the big guns want something, whistles work very strange sometimes. Whistles get very odd. They get a little. What's that song go? Ain't that peculiar? Peculiar love. The whistles get a peculiar love and tone to them when the big shots want something. And I'm hoping, and I'm praying, and I'm wishing. Listen, if the Wolfpack get dominated fair and square, I'll tell you. Because like I said, I am never so pro Wolfpack that I can't be honest. I'll tell y'all straight up and down. I lost my bracket in terms of we did a bracket challenge for Locked On Wolfpack. I lost my bracket challenge because I didn't have the Wolfpack advancing past the Elite Eight. I had them going pretty deep, but I said, they're going to run into Marquette. Marquette going to whoop the wheels off them, and then Marquette is going to lose to Houston.
You should have called me, bro. I would have told you, don't have no faith in shot in tournament time. I would have told you to take it.
I did until I heard him talking about NC State. That's when I knew he was a fraud. When he was talking about, I wasn't close to taking that job at all. My brother in Christ, I was a member of student media at that time. You were on campus. What are you talking about?
Look, they were talking about bringing him to Illinois. No.
My thing is this. I'm never bad at somebody. If you're going to tell a lie, at least tell an unverifiable lie. That's like somebody asking me,
Unverified.
do you know Sean Davis? Do you know Malik Zaire? No, I've never heard of the two. Why would I know them? Well, what connection could I have? You sure you have not recorded a podcast with them? I have no idea who those gentlemen are. Well, guess what? All they got to do, Lucky Lefty Podcast, King Gibbs. Oh, here's you with them. Now, if they say, have you ever been to one of their houses? I could plausibly deny that. Because theoretically, I could have never been to your house. Theoretically, we could celebrate every holiday together. Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? Shaka gonna lie about something that we got the receipts on. What? Shaka, your last name may be smart, but I'll tell you, if you ever had a good idea, it may die up there of loneliness. It has no brothers, no sisters, no nephews, nieces, no friends to accompany it. Because what? But I digress.
So, before we get into some of the other topics, we'll give you a little sneak peek of Three's Company right here. Is there anybody, what's the buzz? Because you are co-host of Locked On ACC, Locked On College Football, Locked On Wolfpack. Will anybody in the ACC even sniff or come close to Notre Dame this year?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
By all means, let us know.
Here's what I will tell you. I will say this. If Riley Leonard is the player that he has been at Notre Dame, I'll say no. Nobody comes close. But if Riley Leonard in that receiving room cannot gel well enough, there are multiple teams.
What'd you just say? Because see, we've been catching hell. I'm glad we get other people outside.
Yeah, y'all know me.
Wait a minute. Did you? I just want to make sure you said if. So it's not a conclusion.
Here's the thing, right? Y'all remember when the Eagles put together that dream team where it was like Mike Vick, Vince Young, Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy? It was all the Nambi Asamoah, all these guys that you like, man, they're assembling the Avengers of football right now. This is crazy. Well, here's the thing, right? The Avengers has this fun thing called writers and directors, and they get plot armor where it's like, oh my God, Tony Stark just went to a different dimension. Don't worry, we can write him back into this dimension. The real world don't work like that, right? Like, yes, I think the world of Riley Leonard. You know what I mean? Me and Malik Zaire have gone toe-to-toe about what I think about Riley Leonard. And I'm sure he's still standing on it. I'm still standing on how we feel about Riley Leonard. But it doesn't matter how good a quarterback is and how good his weapons are if they do not gel. This was not, if you look at Joe Burrow in year 2 at LSU, can y'all tell me who on that LSU team was new to the team his second year?
But Left,
nobody. It just took years
different. Left, didn't you say it'd be different if he was going to be here 2 years? Didn't you say that from the jump?
The scientific method is 2 years for any transfer quarterback.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We have seen quarterbacks dominating ball with one, and this is a situation where Notre Dame's schedule lines up favorably enough, and they have the type of talent that I would not be surprised if they found a way to like work their way out through the kinks and through the hard times in the midst of year one. And by the end of it, they're firing on all cylinders. Normally, the quarterbacks that struggle a lot, they're in conferences where it's like, oh boy, our down week is Mississippi State. Our down week, we may see Penn State. Oh boy. Like that's a very different scenario than what you're looking at with Notre Dame's schedule. But still, to some regard, or to some degree rather, there still needs to be that kind of period of gelling and growth. It's all a question of how long does it take? Does it take 3 to 6 games, or does it take 3 months? Because then you're looking at a very different scenario.
Let me ask you a fair question. I know you and Malik are, I don't think there's a huge gap between the way you guys look at Riley Leonard. I just think you have more faith that the transference from Duke to Notre Dame is going to happen than he does.
Well, I think more about his talent. I think that we're closer on the transference than we are on his talent now. Okay. I think that there's a chasm there.
That's fair. Okay, that's the chasm. So with that chasm, this is the question. I'm just implications from what you said, or inference from what you said. Both of you seem to feel like there needs to be some proving in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you both agree, like, okay, it's the proving ground is going to be the passing.
Yeah. And here's the deal.
Take it a step further and say, that you don't get better as a passer overnight, especially coming off of injury, especially when the passes that you was completing are not going to be similar to the ones at Notre Dame. Now, I think that you can amass more yards because you have better talent around you. But from a pure passer standpoint, you're not going from a 60% completion, 65% completion to a 70 in 1 year.
I agree. But I think the biggest thing for me is this. We have seen plenty of quarterbacks that, like, it looks like something clicks in that 5th year. I don't know why, but it just, you watch them and you're just like, Kenny Pickett stole a 1st-round pick. He stole one.
Wait a minute.
He stole one up off the Steelers.
He said he stole one.
That boy robbed the Pittsburgh Steelers blind without a gun.
And then talk stuff when he went to the Eagles. He talking about, man.
He got mad like, I'm not going to compete with Russ.
He said, I made the best move for my decision, my career. No,
Yeah.
it made you leave. But that, you know, you're going to get those Will Levis type of picks every year. I'm saying, for me,
You just throwing shade, just catching strays. This got Will Levis just catching strays.
You know, Will ain't did nothing but put mayo in his coffee. He just catches strays out the blue.
he will be gone in the next year and a half. Trust me.
Probably.
If they get rid of Justin Fields that fast, you think Will Levis going to hang around?
No, man. Yeah.
So I think that the proven formula is 2-year process.
Mhm.
So regardless of if Riley was healthy or not, that first year is just not going to be as good as the second year. With him being not healthy, it just puts a damper on what the expectation is. But also, we got guys too now. We ain't just depleted at the position. So if we can't get better in that time he's absent, then we need to have an indictment on our own recruiting. But also, Riley's value is how much of a difference. I don't see him being that much more athletic than Steve, that much more. Well, we know he ain't more accurate than Kenny. So where's his value going to add to a team that's already built? It'd be different if Riley was going to play for a team that had open pieces and gaping deficiencies that he could close. But what are the deficiencies that he can close at Notre Dame that fits us? Right now, we need that passing game closed. And we know he's not the strongest passer. So where's his value going to come in? We got running backs.
Here's what I would say. Where he comes into the passing game is I think he's one of the most underrated passers in the nation because of how he did what he did at Duke. People, and I mean this with all due respect to those Duke receivers. People tried to tell me that they had receivers who would start on other FBS teams besides Calhoun at Duke.
Hey, KG.
I said, what?
That was the most. I actually watched their pro day on NFL Network. That was the most boring pro day I've ever witnessed in my life.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
My life.
You know, now, Sean, you know me. You know I got the connects. I don't watch games on TV. I watch the all 22.
All 22, yes.
I'm watching the all 22 on Duke because I said, you know, after me and Malik had our squabble on there about Riley Leonard, I said, am I tripping? Let me go back and let me fully clear the slate. Let me, obviously we all got our biases, but I said, let me not watch this to confirm. As a matter of fact, let me not even look at Riley. Mm-hmm. Let's just pick a receiver and watch him for at least 2 to 3 games. I promise you, outside of Calhoun, those receivers could not create separation, even if that DB was a wife they hated. I promise you, when you watch those teams, I have seen people with gaps in their teeth that have more space in that little zone than those DBs and tight ends could get from cornerbacks and linebackers in this past year. And I am not joking when I say that. Listen. I'm sitting up here thinking, how did he complete 60% of his passes like this? How? Because I'm not going to say he was perfect. I'm not going to say he did not miss an open receiver here and there, because he did. He did. But when I watch those receivers, I'm like, okay, he was probably not the main target on this play. Okay, he probably wasn't the main target here. Okay, he probably did. Damn, the boy just can't run a route. He just can't run a route. After you watch for so long, you just got to admit, his routes are lazy. You could see his break coming from a mile away. Okay? I'm telling you right now, he is a better passer than you're thinking, but I will concede this. That chemistry may take some time, and it may make him look like a worse passer. If he was here for 2 years,
that's two extremes.
If he was here for 2 years, what do you mean? I said he was a better passer.
How you
gonna
be underrated, and then your opposite is gonna be, oh, he's gonna have a terrible.
I didn't say he was gonna have a terrible year. I said the chemistry part may be their undoing if they don't work out.
Worse.
I said the chemistry part for Notre Dame may make him look worse. That's what I'm saying.
So is he the right fit for Notre Dame or not? No.
Yes. Let me tell you why he's the right fit for Notre Dame. Notre Dame needed, if you were talking about a transfer quarterback, right? Let's talk about all the reasons that Hartman didn't work out. The number one reason was you took away Sam Hartman's best ability. We could agree to that, right? His best ability is to go to the line, see what's going on, make the checks, correct?
I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny.
I can confirm that the backup quarterbacks were allowed to make checks. I don't know what that exactly means.
I don't know what it means.
I just know in the same offense, Steve Angeli made checks when he played.
I'm going to say this. I'll say this. Sam Hartman making the checks. Got lowly old Wake Forest. They got Malik. How big was the high school you went to?
About 600 kids.
600 kids. Shaun, how big was your high school?
Oh, we had about, my graduating class is bigger than that.
Okay, so you were about a what, 3,000 kid high school, something like that? Okay, I went to Cass Tech, 2,500 when I was there, 2,500 just about. Shaun, me and your schools had about as many students as Wake Forest. Like that. He took that school to an ACC championship appearance in the non-COVID year because of what? His ability to go to the line and make checks. Now, whether or not he could do that effectively at Notre Dame, that's a different story for a different time. But his ability to do that,
get to Notre Dame.
But his ability to do it at a high level, we've seen it high enough to get them to a Power 5 conference championship. That's not I think that's a we saw. We saw him go to the line, make the checks and roll from there.
Yeah, against Riley Leonard in basketball schools. Absolutely.
Okay. I get that.
Well,
okay.
Because we really don't respect the ACC in football.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the program. I'm just saying, we just don't.
Here we go.
We don't. I mean,
here we go.
Louisville caught us slipping.
Here's and you know what? You know what?
Battles Louisville back and forth.
Louisville and y'all reminds me of an old saying from my mama. You know, I used to be the rambunctious kid. I was the man in the house when I was 10 years old. I was always ready. Whenever there was a problem, I wanted to go outside and handle it. I did, nah, mama, I got it. My mom would always say, "What are you doing, son? Stop." I'm like, nah, they out there talking. They gonna get right. And I would always say, "I ain't scared, mama. I ain't scared of them." And she would always say, "You ain't got to be scared to catch a behind woman. You know, you ain't got to respect nobody to catch a behind woman. As a matter of fact, when you don't respect your opponent, that's when you're most susceptible to catch that behind whooping. But that's neither here nor there." Yeah. I will say this: How did
that work out for the Wolfpack?
Riley, worry about yourself. Worry about yourself.
I'm just saying.
Worry about yourself.
We don't respect y'all either. I'm just saying.
Hey. Definitely don't. Sam Hartman took a nice little elbow to
that's fine. That's fine. Did y'all get a banner for beating the Wolfpack? Because we about to hang 2 banners. We about to hang at least 2 banners in the next week or 2 for men's basketball. You know, I'm just saying.
Hold on. How many does Neil have as a player left? How many?
More than I
How many does Muffet McGraw, the Hall of Famer, have?
More than I can.
The women's program. What y'all working with?
Bro,
what's the women's program working with at NC State?
Hold on. Wait. What did Andre 3000 say? You only funky as your cut from 1992?
We got Marcus Burton. He got the best player in the ACC.
He said you only funky as your last cut.
What school had both freshman player of the year?
Both freshman player of the year at a non-basketball school?
I hear you. So wait, y'all have both freshman players of the year? So both of them got to still be playing, right?
Huh?
So both of them still playing, right? They're still playing because basketball still being played.
No, not at all.
We got the best players in the conference. And we not even a basketball.
Listen, I'm just asking questions. We all asking questions. Y'all asking questions. I'm asking questions.
Wake me up the last time North Carolina State women won a championship.
Oh, hey, listen. Don't worry about it.
Y'all
go to sleep. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Y'all got a week more of slumber. Y'all got a week more. I'll set the alarm clock. In 1 week, I'm going to call both of y'all. Wake me up before you go. That's you're going to get that call. You're going to get that call. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You got but I say all that to say Riley Leonard is much more of a play in structure quarterback, and he's going to make those throws on time. He's going to hit those targets on time, but he's going to add that dimension of when it breaks down, he can extend a little bit. He can extend that play. Because he doesn't move the pocket to run, although he is a good runner. He moves the pocket to find the best option. That's what he does. He threw more on the run than Jaden McDaniels this last year. That's a factual statement. In terms of throws on the run, he had more than Jaden Daniels. Because Jaden Daniels, when he pulled that ball down, he was gone. That was it. However, Riley Leonard, when he pulls that ball down after moving the pocket, that's what he's doing. He's moving the pocket to look for more options. So I'm not saying, again, I'm not calling Riley Leonard the next coming of touchdown Jesus. I'm not calling.
No. Our point is, we don't have, people get mad because we just don't have these pom-poms. We didn't have the pom-poms for Sam Hartman. We don't have the pom-poms for Riley Leonard.
Well, and I think that's respectable. I think y'all are at that type of program.
Prove it.
Yeah, y'all are at that type of program.
We haven't seen it. KG, you believe in his talents. If I say, show me the game against a good team,
here's the thing.
A playoff caliber team where he won it from the pocket.
And I will put on this year's Florida State game. I will put on this year's Florida State game. You know why? What happened in that game? They
were out front when he was playing.
They were out front when he was playing.
But
wait. Hold on. That's what I was just about to get to.
Okay.
They were out front when he was playing. But why were they worried about whether or not he was going to play, and why did he end up leaving that game?
First of all, he shouldn't have been playing.
He should have been playing. No. But why shouldn't he have been playing?
Because he wasn't healthy.
His ankle. He could not run at all that game. All he could do was from the pocket.
Be a quarterback?
He had his one hand tied behind. See, now Malik playing like he didn't like to run around as a quarterback too. Now he's playing like that ain't part of being a quarterback.
But I'm saying the value of where we need to be as an offense is from playing from the pocket.
I agree. And I'm saying, and this is why I'm saying,
ain't impressing nobody on the team.
And this is why I'm saying, go look at the Florida State game. Because if you look at the Florida State game and what he did in that game, he had that team with the lead doing it from the pocket against a team that man for man across the board was better than Duke everywhere.
You do realize he was 7-16. Wow. I'm not what I'm talking about, man.
But this is what I'm saying. Man. But hold on. So we're counting these stats as if we're saying, hey, the performance is what it is.
The game up.
But this is what I'm saying.
16 ain't nothing to bring up on our end.
Hold on. But like I said, I don't watch the games. I watch the film. I'm definitely not watching the stat sheet. Watch the game. Riley showed
he's not winning anything.
I am trying to tell you as gently as I can. That team was outmanned at every level. The thing that kept them in that game is their quarterback kept fitting it into impossible windows until finally his receivers decided, I guess I'm going to catch one. I guess when he put it up between the 1 and the 0, I guess when he put it on the 8, I can go ahead and grab it. I can go ahead and not let it go. I can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
I am trying to tell you, if you're telling me, hey, Riley Leonard is just too much of a runner and I like my quarterbacks a little bit more quarterbacky, that's fine. We don't need the word quarterback. We don't do that.
But listen, those are two different guys.
I thought that we could. I thought. Listen, it's a more egalitarian world now. We can call white boys non-quarterback. We can do that. We can do that. Three brothers calling Riley Leonard. Well, listen, this reminds me.
We just don't use the term.
Okay, I'm listening. Somebody told me
they play in the same conference. They ain't the same conference.
Somebody told me a while ago that the black quarterback can never get the footing in the game that they deserve And, they'll never get the right love from pundits. And I said, not with that attitude. We got to call out every white boy that can't throw the ball. We got to call out every Braxton Burmeister that exists that can only run. But the minute you tell him put that ball up here, that thing is going like a howitzer. You don't know where it's going to land, but it's going to land somewhere because they're going to make fun of every Joe Milton. They're going to make fun of every one of them that, he can throw a 60 yards, but he can't hit nothing. But in all seriousness.
That's Riley Mills.
I'm going to tell you.
Riley Mills.
I mean, Riley Leonard. Look,
I was about to say, wait a minute.
I'm gonna tell you.
Mills can't throw either.
I'm gonna tell you something. If Riley Leonard gets to Notre Dame and embarrasses me, I'll get on here.
No.
I'll gladly eat my crow.
That's not see that's the thing. I have warned Notre Dame fans, being a Chicagoan and watching the rabbit hole that Chicago Bears fans went down over the past 3 months. Justin, like, dude. Either way, the Bears should be able to win next year. It don't make a difference who the quarterback is.
Right.
It's the third year for Ryan Poles. It's put up Shepard. It's the same thing for Marcus Freeman. It's the third year of this program. You go down to College Station, I don't care who the quarterback is. You go to College Station with Mike Elko losing players and trying to establish a program, something's wrong. And it's bigger than the quarterback.
Yep.
So I don't care if it's Steve Angeli. I don't care if it's Riley Leonard. I don't care if it's Kenny Mitchell. Now, we can have a discussion about the playoffs and who gives you a better chance and how talented Riley Leonard is. All of that. You and Malik can agree on certain aspects, disagree on the talent. You can talk about the all-22. Dude, we didn't respect Duke going into the Duke matchup because we knew the talent was trash. We weren't worried about Riley Leonard against our defense. We weren't worried about that. But we just didn't know the offense was going to be that inept because we should have been up 20 at halftime. Go watch that first half. Notre Dame should have. They were in the red zone 3 times and came away with nothing twice.
And you want to know what's funny?
It's like Clemson.
And you know what's funny? And you want to know what's funny about both of those games? I was at both of them in person. I was in Durham at both of those games in person. And again, I am telling you, if you're watching Riley Leonard and you're saying, hey, the windows are there, the receivers are getting open, he's just not hitting them.
The window is going to be like this year.
And here's the thing. If the window, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If the windows are that big, congratulations, Notre Dame. Happy times are here again.
That's hoisted.
Congratulations. It's going to be a great time for y'all. The Golden Domers are finally going to – I don't want to hurt no feelings, but I'm going to say it. I know y'all not just going to tap to play like a champion sign. You're actually going to be playing like champions. Congratulations.
That was a slight little dig.
I love you. And listen. When you go, even if you lose, I still give you love. When Mantate and them went, they might have got the doors blown off. They still played like champions. They got there. I give them that. I'm saying if they mess around and the windows are wide open and all Riley Leonard got to do is hit. I'm not saying that Riley Leonard is the second coming and he's going to be every window, every throw that you need him to make. He's going to be
below 60%.
And here's what I'm telling you: if he's below 60%, I am guaranteeing you right now, your receivers are going to be leading the nation in drops. I guarantee it. There is no way.
We just got the most receptive receiver in college football.
And listen. And this is what I'm saying. If he's below 60%, it's because guys aren't catching the ball.
Oh my God!
I'll tell you that right now.
2,800 yards don't tell me that. 2,800 yards don't tell me dudes are dropping the ball.
You've seen. Okay, y'all watched the Notre Dame and Duke game. Let me ask you this: how many throws did you see where you were like, "Oh my God, he's wide open. Riley just can't get him"? Tell me. And I promise you.
We have first, second round DBs though, bro. I mean, come on.
So you mean to tell me that first, second round DBs against future auto insurance salesmen is not a good matchup for a quarterback? Malik,
I don't think their receivers were a good matchup when they played Northwestern. But I'm just saying.
That's interesting.
So we don't disagree. You feel like we disagree with you. We
This
that
what I'm saying.
talent was trash. We
keep
that.
saying, but to me, it's not fair to count that against him. Like I played at Cal State.
No, we haven't counted that against him.
No, but this what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Malik keep talking about the completion percentage. And what I'm saying is this: y'all watched that Notre Dame game like I did. Let me tell you something. Those defensive backs in that Notre Dame game, every single play, it was so bad. One of the media members next to me said, "Man, Notre Dame is playing some really good man coverage." I said, "They ain't played man once this drive." That's how bad it was. Them boys were in cover too, and the media were confused. Like, nope, there's no way.
Is Riley Leonard going to benefit? Is Riley Leonard going to benefit from the receivers more, or are the receivers going to benefit from Riley more at Notre Dame?
I think it's going to be a symbiotic relationship. It's going to be mutual. They're going to benefit from each other an immense amount. I'm telling you. Listen, Sean just told me the windows are going to be this big. And I'm telling you, if the windows are that big, he got time.
KG, I've been in practice. I've never seen a wide receiver room at Notre Dame with this much speed.
And let me tell you something. If you're asking,
I didn't get to watch Will Fuller and Chris Brown. I didn't get to watch that group that left was quarterback.
The three guys that we have in that quarterback room can throw for the same amount of yards because of the receiver room. Riley isn't going in there doing something that the other quarterbacks in that room cannot do.
I will say this: if Riley Leonard was stepping in with the same receivers and the same receiving coach from last year, he would have no shot.
Have no shot.
He would have no shot.
He'd have 2K running yards, though. He had about 2,000 rushing yards.
And here's the thing: I don't disagree with you at all. But what I'm telling you all is this: if the passing lanes are as big as y'all are saying they will be, Riley Leonard will be in New York. And Notre Dame will be in the playoff. I'm telling you that right now.
But Riley's values don't come from the playoff wins. We know we can get to the playoffs with me, you, and Sean blocking and throwing the football. Riley's values are not going to be entertained or
hold on. KG, let me ask you a question. Have you seen the schedule next year?
Yeah, I have. And that's why I said the schedule works out in a way that they can build that chemistry against some teams that are not.
But we're not going to sit there be saying, "Oh, Riley's the Heisman best quarterback in the country."
Here's what I'm saying: undefeated at Notre Dame with positive passing stats. You're going to New York.
You're going to New York.
No, that's any quarterback.
Yeah, that's
Sam Hartman that beat Ohio State.
I was surprised.
He would have been in New York.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was super surprised that Ian Book never went, but he was always on the cusp of going.
Why? Because he's under 3,000 yards every year. He was under 3,000 every year.
I agree.
He was under 2,500 every year.
I agree, but I'm saying I was surprised based on the fact that he's the quarterback at Notre Dame and they're undefeated type deal. I was surprised about that. So
they had to take him in the vacuum. They said, "Okay, now how do you compare to these guys?"
I am telling you right now. Okay, Malik, you believe in the receiving room. Sean, you're telling me that the windows are going to be wide open, so wide open that you got to put the burglar bars on there.
Not Thomas Neighbors wide open. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. All right.
Saying they got
to hit a wide open dude too.
They have the same play call that LSU had, but they don't have it. In my opinion, Riley Leonard is not going to be Jaden Daniels next year.
No.
And here's what I can tell you without a doubt.
Okay. Hit the ASU stats. You can hit it with the ASU stats.
No. This what I'm gonna say. I think that Jaden Daniels and Riley Leonard are comparable talents. I do.
One had 2 years.
I do.
To your point, though.
I do. I think they're comparable talents. But with that in mind, if these windows are what y'all say they are, and these receivers are that wide open, again, hey, listen, you could tell me I'm wrong, but let me ask you this. Playing in the defense is optional Pac-12. What did Jaden Daniels show that had him ready to leave early? What did he show? Throwing to Brandon Ayuk, who's now an All-Pro. What did he show?
Was different. His coaching was different a little bit. Coaching changes.
So now the coaching changes count for him, but the coaching changes don't count for Riley Leonard. Because last time I checked, Riley Leonard went from Old Cutcliffe to Elko, or does the coaching change not count for him?
Do you think though that Riley and Jaden seriously are same as
Yeah, I think they're the same level of talent. I did not say they were the same player. I did not say they're the.
Oh, what's that? Tier 3? They're tier 3 guys.
Yeah, I think they're tier 3. Yeah.
So Riley has it.
I think Riley is upper tier 3. I think Jaden is like that upper mid tier 3. I honestly have Riley slightly above Jaden in terms of like just a pure talent. I just
want a tier 1 quarterback in Notre Dame at some point. Man.
Now here's the thing. I know people who hear me talking about him will say, you don't believe he's tier 1 or tier 2? No, because I believe tier 1. I've only seen tier 1 to me is like we could throw you. No. I think there's been 2 tier 1 quarterbacks that I've ever seen play in my life. And I think that's Cam Newton at Auburn and Lamar Jackson. Those are the only 2. Because to me,
wait. We've had fans today left to tell us that Riley Leonard and Lamar Jackson are the same quarterback.
That's it. Three's company is over. Until we get the fans drug tested. Because we can't have fans who are subscribing to our show with their drug money. It makes us feel bad. We're good people. We want to put good things into the environment, and we don't need that. We don't need your money.
You wouldn't consider Trevor Lawrence a tier 1?
No. I consider him high tier 2.
A high tier 2? He won 33-1.
I like your grading scale. I respect your grading scale.
Do you think, Travis Etienne played against Georgia Tech. He ran the ball 12 times in total. In 5 runs between the tackles, he went off for over 180 yards. With that type of team, you would have went 33-1. And not saying that you're nothing as a quarterback. Don't get me wrong.
Trevor won games when it was time for the Clemson Tigers to win games. He won games solely. He won games against Ohio State by himself. He won games against Notre Dame by himself. He won a championship against Alabama on a collective effort, but he made
strongly disagree. I strongly disagree.
That was really needed.
I strongly disagree.
And Deshaun Watson's tier 1.
How many? Deshaun Watson is definitely not tier 1.
Oh,
he's not tier 1. I'll say this. If I had to rank it, it would be like this, right? To me, I got those 2 up there. The only
and Jameis in there too, by the way.
Here's the thing.
Tier 1 too.
The only quarterback that's even on the line of tier 2, tier 1 for me, that's like legitimately, I go back and forth about him all the time, is Andrew Luck. Because like everybody else, in terms of the quarterback they were in college, nobody else do I look at and say like,
how you not look at Jameis and be like, oh, that's an automatic tier 1 in college?
Because if I put Jameis, if you put Jameis on Central Michigan, do you believe that they win 11 games and are like playoff contention?
Oh, in their division, absolutely. In the MAC, oh yeah, Jameis tear the MAC up.
Jameis was a really good quarterback. I'm not debating that at all. Jameis was not that offense. To me, if you're tier 1, you have to be the offense. Cam Newton was the offense. Lamar was the offense.
Deshaun was the offense.
Deshaun wasn't that offense.
Bro.
Deshaun had weapons on weapons on weapons.
Let me ask. Whoa. First of all, the first time he faced Bama,
400 plus yards.
The first time he faced Bama, this is the only thing I'll say. That's the difference between, because the team that Trevor played with and the weapons he played with is totally different than what Deshaun played with. Because the first time he played Bama, his top 3 receivers were not in the game.
Mm-hmm. And then again, I would give,
and he put up 400.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing. I'm not. Although, like I'll gladly tell y'all, hey, NC State men's basketball had a great season because of what's happening right now, right? If you were to ask me, like, no, in all seriousness, what was the totality of the season? Okay, in reality, they had like a very subpar start, but they finished it amazingly. My grading systems are the same way. It's not about what Deshaun Watson did in that game. In the games where you said, all right, Deshaun has to be the offense, who is he throwing to? For the most part, he was throwing to studs. He wasn't throwing to no jokers.
Mike Williams is the only stud. Who else was a stud?
Who was
talking about a college stud?
Who was Cam Newton?
I wouldn't put Deshaun on Cam. Cam Newton was a program.
That's what I'm saying.
He was a pro.
But hold on. Hold on. Cam Newton.
So Deshaun can't be lower level tier 1. Cam's top.
So here's what I'm saying.
Mike Vick's top.
Here's what I'm saying. To me, I need to see you do it consistently, week in, week out. Be the offense. And I'm not saying, or actually, I'll say this. Who your teammates are absolutely factors into that. It absolutely factors. That's why, to me, Joe Burrow will never be more than mid-tier 2, maybe high tier 2. That's the highest he can get because I didn't get to see you without first-round receiver, first-round running back. I didn't get to see it. We talk about 2 years. We talk about Mike Williams. Who was Cam throwing to that was comparable to Mike Williams?
Nobody.
No. My only point is, if you put Deshaun tier 2, you possibly
got to bump down a lot of other people.
No. I'm not talking about that. You can argue that he could be lower level.
Here's the thing. I will say this.
Near Cam.
I'll say this. Deshaun is also at that line with Andrew Luck. He's on that line where I go back and forth about him a lot. Okay. To me, he just settled on the side of like, you played with some really, really, really great talent. You played with some great talent that, like, with all due respect, I think that you made that talent look good. But also, when that talent got away from you, everybody talk about, Hunter Renfrow looks like an insurance salesman. Does he run his routes like it? Does he get open like an insurance salesman? No, he does it like an NFL wide receiver, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. He sure does. So with that in mind, that's why I'm looking at Deshaun saying, listen, this is no disrespect. It's no knock. It's no like, you can't. But again, to me, I can't say, you balled out in the natty, therefore you're the guy. When there are other players who, again, they were everything at the Power 5 level, took their team to the highest heights. And they were it.
The highest heights, but Lamar
didn't go to the highest heights. But you know why Lamar didn't go to the highest heights? You know why Lamar didn't go? He didn't have.
He's at Louisville.
Guess how many of his teammates went on to be starters in the NFL?
On
both sides of the ball.
Hold on now.
Okay. Tutu Atwell. Hold on. There's one more.
There's another receiver. It's Rodgers. No. Who? He has somebody else.
There is somebody. His name is very close to yours. I'm surprised that you're missing him.
He had a couple guys. I know
Jair Alexander. Yes. That's the only other one.
Jair Alexander.
And so what did we learn, ladies and gentlemen? They both agree that Riley Leonard is a tier 3 quarterback.
I think, but here's the thing. Riley Leonard
both said that Riley Leonard's a tier 3 quarterback.
And what Andrew Luck is to tier 1, what Andrew Luck and Deshaun Watson are to tier 1, that's what Riley Leonard is to me to tier 2. He's right on that line of like, I'm tier 2. Because to me, tier 2 is like, I'm not the program, but here's the thing. Either one, I can win you a championship if you just give me a couple decent pieces. I will give you a championship. You give me one or two
better than Stetson Bennett, if that's the case.
Stetson Bennett is
better than Stetson Bennett if we talking about that. Because
Stetson Bennett had all pro. If you threw a rock in Georgia's huddle, you are more likely to hit a future all-pro than an insurance salesman, an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer. Try that with Duke. Try it. You're going to get sued for throwing the rock because they already in law school.
Left is being petty. Lucky Podcast.
Exactly.
Three's Company on the way out. About to finish up. We have to give our boy an opportunity to respond to what took place this week. All the buzz around Angel Reese, her situation, the unfortunate death threats, the unfortunate.
Just to go to the league. Just to go to, man.
Explanation. Go ahead. On the way out. Give us your thoughts.
I'll say this. First thing first. Was I right or was I right about Haley Van Lith? When she announced that she was leaving on Locked On ACC, I said she should have stayed in Louisville. That's a bad fit for her. You can only be a Kim Mulkey point guard if you have natural point guard sense. She does not do well with combo guards as her point guard. She has never done well with that. She needs a true distributor, a true floor general who she can tell, go out there and play your game, and their game is naturally that of, I know how to make the entry pass. I know how to feed the post. I know how to do all those things. That's not who she is. That's not who she is. And now, as far as Angel Reese, I am deeply saddened and ashamed of how many people are reacting to Angel Reese and her breaking down on that podium. I'm never mad. Oh, I'll give you an example. On Locked On Wolfpack earlier this season, when DJ Burns was battling some illnesses, he was throwing up at halftime and that type of stuff. And people would come in our comments. And mind you, this is not all of most of Wolfpack Nation is phenomenal. But y'all know those fans, right? Every school has them. I know Notre Dame got them. I know for a fact, as big as the Notre Dame brand is, I know y'all got them. The people that if every game ain't a win, if everything ain't perfect, they want to fire everybody. They want to talk about everybody. They want to talk about everybody and your mama. You know, that's what it is. And they wouldn't stop flooding our comments saying DJ Burns is a fat piece of crap and he's just a tub of lard. And if Jabba the Butt can't get down the court, you know. And what I did with every one of those comments immediately, hey, that's out of line. If you want to criticize his defense, if you want to criticize his demeanor, if you want to criticize his intensity, go for it. And the same thing applies to Angel Reese. People say, oh, she was the villain. She talked all this junk to players. If players want to talk junk back to her, good. If I was Caitlin Clark, I would have did the you can't see me, did the ring finger, did the whole nine. Because she did it to you, cool. And if Angel was crying about that, I could see what people were saying. At what point did Angel threaten to kill somebody?
But that's subjective though. We don't know. We haven't heard that coming from her.
Okay. You know what we did
is good old McElwain at Florida. We lose an embarrassing game. He go up there and be like, man, they was threatening my life, and they took it serious to find out they ain't nobody threatening. You know.
Okay, let's talk about what we all have seen. Then let's talk about what's readily available. And I hope none of you search this. You're sicko if you do. The deepfake AI stuff with Angel Reese. Who did she do that to?
What are you talking about?
Brother, that was part of why she was crying. She said, I have faced death threats. I've been sexualized. I don't know if you know this or not, Malik, but somebody created an AI deepfake of you performing certain activities. There's nothing more sexualizing than that.
If it's fake, then that's the same thing as cyberbullying. You just turn the computer off.
But Malik, see, and this is where a lot of sports media fall short, because a lot of sports media are men. And our sexuality is treated very differently than it is with women. And it's not the same. That is the deepest violation of one's privacy that you could possibly imagine.
But where is this when she's putting the TikTok on? Where is this when she's talking about get out your feelings, get a bag? That's her moniker. So now we in our feelings? But I thought we was getting the bag. What happened to?
And again, when we're talking about things that are within the lines, if the criticisms were, oh, it was get out your feelings, get a bag, but now you just got off the court. If it was jokes about that, that's fine. People creating lies about her GPA? The girl got a degree.
Of course. What you think they talk about LeBron? They talk about LeBron doing Balco, LeBron doing all type of crazy stuff with Diddy and stuff.
So which one do you think is worse? Somebody lying about you doing steroids, or somebody lying and saying you're so unintelligent you can barely muster up a 1 point with academic help that you and I both know exists at Power 5 school?
When you're winning, you embrace all of it. That's what happens. If you wasn't winning the championship, they wouldn't be doing no AI fakes of you. They gotta find anything to attack greatness. That's why it only takes certain people that can be great, because certain people that are great ain't complaining when they losing. That's all I'm saying.
Michael Jordan, who is many people's GOAT, Michael Jordan, said, and I quote, I don't know how y'all survive in this social media world. I could not have done it. The man that's known for the creation of the killer instinct is saying, I couldn't survive in the social media world. And we want a 22-year-old woman
Yes.
to somehow navigate this?
You know what she said at the end? I wouldn't change it for the world. What'd she say, Sean? She said, after all that crying, all that talking about, oh, I went through this and that, she said, but I would do it again if I had to. So what we talking about?
But what I'm talking about is we should allow her the grace and the space to have whatever tears she wants, to have whatever emotion she wants, to feel whatever bad she wants, without talking about some, oh, she's a wannabe villain. She wants to make herself the villain. She wants to paint a target on her back, but then get mad when people shoot at her. Shoot at her within bounds. Talk about her within bounds. And I get it. Lev, you and I both played at a very high level. You and I have both been guys who have had things written about us and written about who we are that, like, it was insane. It was insane. I had people say about me, I kept getting hurt because I was out of shape. When every strength and conditioning coach would tell you.
Maybe it was some of that.
When every single strength and conditioning coach would tell you, I was always the first one in, last one out. When it came to being in shape, nobody ever, not a single time ever did I not lead the defensive tackles in all our times for conditioning.
But
ever.
being great ain't about being fair.
But this is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, right? That stuff gets to people. That stuff gets to people. It's not about if you're great or not as to whether or not that gets to you. Some people, it don't get to them. Me, I was one of those people like, hey, fan is short for fanatic. They're going to say what they say. That's not really my responsibility. Whatever. Cool. I still cannot sit here and ignore the fact that this young woman was facing attacks that I could not relate to at a higher volume than I could relate to for things that were out of her control. Because again, like we said, who's creating the AI defect you left? Even if you went on to win a Heisman, even if you were still playing in the league to this day, who would be talking about, hey, this is what he would look like, Nick. This is what he would look like doing this, that, and the third. And even if we say no more talk about that, even if we just talk about the other stuff, if you were the bad boy in the NFL and you was like, hey, I'm left, I spin it different, I do it how I do it, none of y'all do it like me, I don't care, right?
Caleb Williams.
Would that, sure, Caleb Williams. We have seen Caleb Williams breaking down crying before, and he's been criticized for it. But he broke down and cried in his mother's arms, and he's been criticized for it.
It's in the arena, it's in the sport, it's in the lines.
But that's my point. That's my point. He cried about what was within the lines of the game. Now imagine her emotions. She just lost her last ever college game, and she's looking back at the different things that she's been through. That woman had every right to feel how she felt. And to say, the thing that I kept hearing from many people is, well, y'all are always trying to make this a race thing, or y'all are always trying to make this a gender thing. And if we really want everybody to be equal, we got to treat everybody the same. It's never going to be the same because, again, there are certain things that will never be a problem for certain people. And again, you, me, and Sean, we cannot relate to being made sex objects to the point of like people barely care about who we are as humans. Instead, people are simply asking us,
pretty cute.
Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. I'm secure enough in my masculinity to say, y'all two good-looking brothers. Y'all two good-looking brothers.
I appreciate that. And come on, hold on now, because you know some of your bros are in the chat right now. You pretty boys, y'all. That's what y'all live by. So you know what I'm saying.
And listen, I'm not about to sit up here and lie to nobody and say I think I'm ugly. I'm not. Come on now.
I definitely don't know that. I don't know nothing about that.
Look, we got to get out of here. But, bro, I just want to say this. I think both of y'all, man, because this is so nuanced and layered, it really needs to be discussed to bring out everything. I will say this. My biggest disappointment, I've said this, my biggest disappointment is really in the people around her.
That's fair.
Because I think she thought everything was going to be sweet. I think she had an expectation, especially after winning a national championship, being Bayou Barbie and everything. Oh, this is about to be my, what do they call it? Girl summer. No, hot girl summer.
Big one is my big one.
Yeah, I'm getting to the bag, all of that. Somebody in her circle needed to sit her down and say, look here, you just embarrassed the media darling in front of millions of people in this country at this time.
Yeah.
You need to understand what's coming your way. And you need to be, it's not about right or wrong and what should come your way. You need to realistically understand what is about to come your way.
Yeah. And
she didn't have yes, and she didn't have anybody around. I love what Flo J did. But she didn't have Kim Mulkey wasn't doing that for her.
No,
absolutely.
I guarantee you Kim Mulkey
was throwing her to the lamb saying, you lucky.
You know what I'm saying? Her people back in Baltimore, her brother in Maryland, they probably were asking for money. They wasn't having that conversation. That was the biggest issue. And that probably is what led to the breakdown. She had no one around her to let her know, hey, this is what's coming. She was blindsided. That's why it hurt. She was blindsided. Young lady, when you do the centerfold for SI, that's what's coming. Every centerfold that's done SI has been sexualized. Like, I don't know what you've been told. And what scares me is that, so now you go do a shoot with Vogue to announce your declaration. I wonder if she's learned her lesson. That's my fear. Man, we got to go. Look, Three's Company, new episode coming next week. We're going to let KG celebrate, hopefully, double national championships. And then we'll let him get into, because by that time, I doubt whether or not old boy from Canada is hitting the booth. He ain't hitting the booth. He ain't.
Hey, listen, after what J. Cole dropped, you could just keep that. You could have kept that in the files. You could have kept that in the hidden files, brother.
Super mid.
That's the worst part.
It was a warning shot. He wasn't going for the head.
You don't shoot a warning shot with a track gun, brother. I heard that little pow.
That was a water gun.
Oh, Lord.
That was a water gun. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Shot clock was running down. He had to get the shot up, and it was a brick.
He thought Kendrick was a cat. He said, "Hey, shoot! Get down from there! Get down! Get down!"
Three's Company, kids, TGIF_kid. No, Malik, Zaire, Sean Davis, man. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the Final Four, but most of all, make sure that you continue to spin it different, man. We'll holler at you guys next week.